Gotta find now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the culprit. Who's That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the culprit. Who's That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the culprit. Who's That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the culprit. Who's That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the culprit. Who's That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the culprit. Who's That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. The culprit. Who's That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? How you doing tonight? Oh man, I have been having fun on Twitter. Uh, the Overwatch drama continues as as it does with these guys going over it again. But it's funny. It's funny to me, right? Because they've been really quiet about one thing: the Steam DB numbers. The game's actually doing pretty well. They got like what 160,000 today on a weekday. So we'll see how it goes. I obviously think it will drop back down, but if they're higher than where they were before, I think Overwatch will be doing pretty good on for itself, right? Definitely seems like they're trying to make a comeback, and it looks like the anti-woke drama has done little to nothing to deter that. I even have some of them coping, like Vara. Oh, well, we'll see how the numbers go and they'll go down. I honestly stopped paying attention to the anti woke Discord when it comes to games and movies. I still focus in on the games, but you know, that's kind of what I do here. Grum's getting cooked in his mugenics take, not being woke. Dude, all it took was 30 seconds for me to find that screenshot that I put out there. And it was like, yeah, this is definitely a woke game. It looks interesting. Like it looks fun. If I had the extra dough, I would have dropped it. I would have dropped the $30 or whatever to get it, and we'd have played it on stream. Uh, oh man, I legit find it boring talking about them since it's the same thing day in, day out. Man, that's something coming from the guy who makes constant posts on one guy. I always find it interesting. I mean, a lot of it, the problem with it and why most people I think get drained out by it is literally the same thing over and over and over again. They don't change their talking points. They don't really have any arguments. It's just posts full of buzzwords and then nothing else to it, right? Like they're taking the win on high guard when pretty much everybody, besides the normal guys who will sweep for every game that comes out, right? Like Nibs. I like Nibs, but he has a passion for all games, so he'll defend pretty much all games, right? Uh, he's fun to watch sink to a new low. I get it. I get it. I have mine. I have mine. You know this. Old Smashy boy. Uh, I'm going to keep using this broken deck. So, before we get started today, before we get to the main content, and we might be watching something after, it depends on how long it takes me to get through Nicandros's video. But we have the game that I am currently playing right now. I don't do like game of the week. I couldn't afford to do game of the week. Uh, but we do play games for a little while, usually a week or more, and then I'll move on to another game. But we've got Deck of Haunts, fun little game where you play a haunted house, deck building roguelite. Um, but yeah, deck building roguelite where you try and kill or drive anyone insane that's in the game. And I have an absolutely busted deck right now. Uh, I mean, one thing that I say about it is I got to go in and choose my cards. Uh, so I was able to kind of help make it busted. One thing that I don't like, and I did differently on this one, is you can level up cards, right? Well, if you go into the deck builder, you can just choose the level up cards, and it's not any different than choosing the non-level up cards. So I wanted to challenge myself a little bit. A lot of these cards, like I chose, but I chose them. Even this one, I chose at the lower level and upgraded it later because it would have cost me one. But otherwise, man, I'm having a lot of fun with this game, and probably the end of this week we're gonna move on to another one because you play this one is one that you pick up constantly and play. You put down, you pick up, you play. So that is it so far. Deck of Haunts. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see here. You want to see a little bit of how I make this work? We're gonna do that. Then we do this. All right, so I almost didn't get it. The sheep in my deck give me 2 AP when they are discarded. So then I have this card, which discard your hand, draw a card for every card discarded. So I'm only going to get 3. I have some draw cards. I'm hoping to get some draw cards on this next one. And I did. Boop. But I didn't get anything to keep the turn going. We'll at least be able to give everybody one mass psychosis, which will drain them for one. And then we got people coming in on this side now. All right, this is where I think we're going to start getting... Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I still didn't get the card I needed. Let's do that. These two. Okay, we're definitely taking that. And we'll end again. Boom. See, already went insane. This clock tower helps drive him insane a little bit quicker. Yeah, I talk to him. I talk about him a lot, but it's only when there's something worth talking about. But as of late, he's hella boring unless there's some major drama around him or he has really dumb takes. Yeah, I think all of them are kind of having this moment. Like none of them are particularly interesting. Like the Overwatch drama has come up, but even like Smash is trying to do the political thing, and that's not really working out for him. So, it's it's things like this Overwatch stuff that Grizzle brought to me. That was a lot of fun. They have High Guard to make fun of now. Yeah, they'll move on now that High Guard, because they're gonna play that as a win. Like I said, they're gonna play it as a win, even though like next to nobody was incredibly positive about that game. Pretty much everybody I said, like I saw, said it needs a lot of work, right? They have things that they have to fix. And me and Nasmer went on and looked at it, and we both said, it's got issues it needs to deal with before it becomes a good game. And it just doesn't look like they're going to. It doesn't look like they're going to pull through, man. They're already starting to fire people and things like that. It's not a good look. Not a good look. They're definitely going after the marathon game. Yeah, I mean, Grizzle's really positive about it, but I just don't know with the massive amount of negative press that game has gotten. I don't see them. I mean, I don't see him making like much of a comeback with it, considering everything that's going on. It might come out in a maze. It may be just like Arc, and come back to being an amazing game. But I currently am very skeptical that it's going to do anything. I mean, hey, Rev tried doing the political stuff, and it caused him his last biggest sponsor, and now he's trying to move back to the anti-woke gaming stuff to less than stellar reception. Asmongold's doing the same thing too, if you've paid attention. He seems to be going back to the anti-woke stuff, or even his more light gaming takes, because when he played that Relooted game and said that it's okay, it's not a bad game, right? I think a lot of them are seeing the forest for the trees, through the trees, and realizing that
Welcome.
Whoa, wait, Nick, we're gonna get to you. That man, that grift ain't working out, and anyone who's still on that side is gonna look real bad, especially after that Pam Bondi shit. Holy fuck. That's about the most we're going to get into politics. Well, yeah, people in the political space are now dunking on Asmongold. Yeah, I mean, some of us have been dunking on him about his political takes for a while. But yeah, I mean, they're not getting the reception I think they like. They're getting more negative press than they, were hoping for. And it is, they're gonna move back to what they think is safe. Now, what does that mean for people like Smash JT, where he's already kind of ruined his anti-woke career? I don't know. I guess we will see. So you're saying just how ridiculous this deck gets, like, I haven't even passed the turn in forever. And I'll discard 2 cards, and I can just keep giving these guys mass psychosis over and over and over again. And I keep getting AP back from the goats because I keep sacrificing goats. And then let's do some more tension right there. Everyone's probably already at max tension, but we like to spread it around. Oh, I need to give this chick some tension. But in a minute, getting ready to go into the main subject, our buddy Nick Andros, #1 Nux Taku hater, A-log, we should say, has made another video on Nox Taku, and this one's getting sent around. Like, it seems like it's pretty bad. Them typos, though. What are you talking about? Me or in the game? Because I always make typos. That's just what I do. Let's do that, then that. There we go. Let's keep going with you, chick. Give you some more psychosis. Do that. Draw cards first. Then we'll play this. Talking about me and my last. Oh yeah. I don't ever notice that. I'm so dyslexic that I wouldn't know the difference. I would probably think it's right. Let's see here. There we go. How is she doing? Or he doing? 6 tension, 6 times. Who doesn't have 6 times tension? Yeah, let's give it to this room. More goats for more AP. This. Refold that. Now, where's this one at? Oh, she's in this room too, so we got to get her up to 6. Oh, maybe she can't. Lowers the max tension of all humans in the room by 1. Okay, maybe that's what's doing it. Yep. All right, we'll pass the turn and we'll see who survives. No one. This deck is so busted. Anyway, now that we're moving on to the next turn, let's get started. Let's get this going today. Nick Andros is, part of the commentary community. He makes videos mostly about people like Tectone and Nux Taku. Nux Taku is his personal favorite. Well, he's made another one, and it's just a part 1. Exposing Nux Taku's EPI Empire, part 1. So this should be a lot of fun. This should be interesting. We'll go in and see what it's all about, right? What it is all about.
Candros. This is Tectone, a guy who used to follow 900 hentai accounts on Twitter. When likes were still public, people found out that Tectone had
jump scare right at the beginning.
liked an animation depicting a Genshin Impact character called Venti getting their back door blown wide open by a BB Hilichurl C. For
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that. That's Savvy's favorite character too. I see her post about this all the time. Bro is a professional Nux hater while I'm a Rev hater. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
context, Venti
I mean, I can respect that in my own way, right?
is an effeminate male character with the body of a 15-year-old boy. So Tectone has a history of jerking it to gay porn involving 15-year-old boys. This is more speculative, but photographic evidence suggests that Tectone lives by the slogan, "He who beats it, eats it." In case you don't know what that means, now you might be disgusted by this,
don't.
but given Tectone's physiology, that's actually a very impressive feat.
Is that all?
Me when I show her my penis? I'm 6'8". I don't know why I would lie about that. My penis isn't that small where I feel the need to lie about my height. But I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8". Are you 6'8"? I'm 6'8". 6'7". I'm 6'6". I'm 6'7". I'm 6'7". 6'6" men BMI.
Now, for reference, I'm 6'7". I've sometimes claimed to be 200 and sometimes 201 centimeters, but I've never claimed to be 2 whole inches taller. You might say that lying about 2 inches is not a big deal, but to some people, that's all they've got.
Thankfully, I have a very small cock.
Dude. You gotta love the edits for it.
Tecton was recently served a 10-year protective order to stay at least 200 yards away from his ex-girlfriend Pinkachu for sexually assault.
And have you seen everybody like absolutely coping over this? Like everybody has come out and I feel like it's done irreparable harm to the people who have been defending him. Like Legal Mindset is catching it for his dumbass takes. Yeah, I think Rev tried to defend him too, didn't he, Simon? I don't know if Nux Taku said anything about it, but it seems like everyone was trying to give the old, well, it's civil court. Bro is taller than I am, and I'm 6'2". Jesus. I'm like 5'10", 5'9", somewhere in there. Everyone has a hero complex. Yeah.
Assaulting and stalking her. He's also been forced to give up all of his guns. Before this all came out, he also had some really deep thoughts.
The more you are aware of what's going on in the world, the more that you are aware of these people that are lying, the more that these people will try to discredit the people telling the truth. I mean, I want you to look at Nux Taku, for an example.
Now, I found out about Nux Taku around the time of his Shadman controversy, and because of some drama between Mutahar and someone called Shadlogic. It's a complicated story.
Nux Taku got his
That was such a great little drama to watch unfold.
entire career temporarily destroyed, which he bounced
Yeah, I did see Chibi reviews defending him, but he's got to. That's like his main man.
back from because he's one of the GOATs. God bless you, Nux.
Yes, the post-Nux Clarity incident.
So this video that was uploaded with, again, Nux Taku as Jeffrey Epstein and me as, I assume, Ghislaine Maxwell over here.
Since then, Nux
Yeah, this was, if you don't know about this one, I don't know if he's going to explain it. So all this stuff came out about Nux Taku, like there were DMs of him trying to get Shadman onto his show. He's also had a ton of his thumbnails up until recently were Shadman art. It was a mess. So Mutahar disavowed him when all of this stuff was coming out. And then not even like a day or two later, turned around 360 or 180 degrees and decided no, Nux was his friend and he shouldn't have done that. Mutahar is such a flaky little bitch. He only really cares about people liking him.
Taku has re-established himself as one of many populistic right-wing commentators, such as Tecton himself, who tried to orbit Asmongold.
Is really like, I mean, this part right here, right? And then there's this. And then there's a little bit of that, too.
I was apparently recently hired as Asmongold's thumbnail editor.
Why wasn't Asmongold nominated at the Streamer Awards? And it's me holding up a fucking thing of I'm white, you're black, and I'm pointing a gun at somebody? Damn, bro, like, that's what it was. This is a top tier thumbnail? I think it is. Honestly, like, we should have just used this one. Oh my god. Hired this guy? Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Thumbnail editor? This is great. Yeah, why not?
My response was not the most charismatic one.
Wait, hold on. Let's make that big. Bro fumbled generational wealth. All right, let's see here. Nope, I want one here. Come on, let's get in here. Get your shit together.
The most charismatic one.
This is great. Do you want to work for us as a thumbnail editor? These ideas don't come to me on a consistent basis, but it would be fun to try. Bro fumbled generational wealth. Bro just dropped the biggest ball of his life.
He never actually intended to hire me. That was merely a stunt he did for his livestream. Given his recent defending of Tectone, it was probably for the best. As a Forbes magazine featured commentator, I can't be associating with people like this. However, this video isn't about Asmongold or Tectone. It's about the rumors circulating Taku.
The amount of misinformation put out on this guy is insane. I mean, dude, I get told that Nux is a pedophile daily. And I'm like, brother, what the fuck are you talking about? Nux has always been good to me, and I'm a guy who's always...
He's been good to me, so he's not a pedophile. That's how it works, right? That's right. If they're nice pedophiles, it's okay.
He's gonna have the back of my friends. However, I will also be the first guy to hold my friends accountable.
We'll see about that. But why would anyone say that Taku after children? I have my own criticisms of the guy, but he's a very religious man.
We gotta stand up and fight for God. We were living in a world of like...
Wasn't he like... I feel like last year he was Jewish. Like, I know he's actually a Jew, but I feel like he changed over to Christianity real quick. Oh yeah, I remember the post Nux Clarity. Yeah, it was funny. It was really
Unbelievable
funny.
Hedonism that just kept ramping up higher and higher and higher, you know? Higher and higher. More and more hedonism and secularism, and it completely took over. And this is an unbelievable conversation that's being had right now.
He speaks out against hedonism and degeneracy.
It's not surprising that people that are based purely on hedonism, that they think you could fuck everything that moves, they think that sex should be publicized and taught to little babies and children, teaching them to change their genders and shit like that.
He's against sex being taught to young children and little babies. He hasn't always been open about his religious beliefs, but he has a long history of criticizing the Twitch platform for making adult content available to minors.
Twitch can't decide whether they want to be a 13-plus gaming website or an 18-plus porn website. Twitch wants to rake in all that advertiser bucks for being a 13-plus gaming website. They want to be on every single freaking smart television in America because that's how they get so many of their little young impressionable viewers. They are trying to be...
This just sounds like, yeah, they're a company. They want to get the widest audience that they can get.
A 13-plus gaming website as well as a porn site at the same exact fucking time. Just recently, you had the implied nudity meta on Twitch where they...
I can already see this is foreshadowing based off of what I know of Nux Taku's career and how he became a rising star.
Allowed artistic nudity, which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea on a 13-plus gaming website, by the way.
Making adult content available to children is totally inappropriate, and Nux Taku has known this for a while.
Hentai ain't for kids under 18, let alone under 13.
Some insist that it is solely the parents' responsibility to stop their children from seeing that stuff. End of story. I think that's a very dumb perspective, so I'm going to back up Nux Taku on this one. Parents do have the primary responsibility to protect their children, but that responsibility isn't on them alone. If you're publishing content on a 13-plus website, the creators, the parents, and the platform have a shared responsibility to protect the children using that site from being exposed to harmful content. In the case of Twitch, the creators...
So this speaks to me so much, because this has always been like my argument when it comes to the whole argument of it's the parents' fault, the parents have to do everything and things like that. No, you have to put, like, the companies do have a responsibility to that kind of content and who you want to have and what you do on your site, right? It's at the very least they need to set up I like the little emojis. At the very least they need to make it easy, or at least, easy and default for the child settings to be on there, so that the parents can have the control they need to be able to block what their kids don't want to see, right?
Are knowingly streaming inappropriate content, and Twitch isn't cracking down on it. As Nux Taku clearly understands, it is supposed to be a 13-plus platform. If you're allowing or uploading adult content onto that platform, you're clearly doing something wrong, and should be held responsible if kids come across that content. Parents can easily block actual adult websites, and some even teach you how to do it. But when adult content is hidden on a 13-plus website, the parents might not even suspect it to be there. Take for example,
True.
Mutahar's aunt.
Here's the fucking wildest thing about her, okay? So she has every fucking parental filter. If you walk into her house, it's like fucking North Korea. However, she hasn't done anything for YouTube. She hasn't looked at parental controls. So in her mind, she's like, I'm a good parent. I'm making sure they don't watch porn. And then their kids are watching like Andrew Tate and shit. So she's blocked this one possibly dangerous avenue of like, you know, fucking psych infiltrating shit, but she hasn't locked the other one out.
Instead of telling his aunt to set up parental controls on YouTube, Mutahar decided to shit-talk her parenting on his massive podcast. Very normal behavior. So when adult content is on an adult website, it's easily blocked. When it's on Twitch or YouTube, it can go unnoticed and in the worst cases, subvert those parental controls. That's why it's important for creators on these platforms to keep in mind that their content is going to be available to and be seen by children. As an example, you shouldn't have a hentai reviewer on your podcast and then shout them out by pitching their content as a method to circumvent parental controls.
Ladies and
no.
gentlemen, please check out our friend Hartweigen, friend of the show, absolutely amazing creator. If you're into hentai and you want to, and you got parental filters all over your web browser, this
Really? Just really?
is a channel for
Yeah,
you because
big fumble.
YouTube is not blocked by parental filters. So wink, wink
Big
on that
fumble,
one.
Red Stain.
Before you run off calling Mutahar some early porn introduction mogul, this is just a single, irresponsible one-off comment from years ago. It was a dumb thing to say, but there is no broad pattern of Mutahar engaging in this behavior.
Ooh, that's a lot for Nick Andros to say, because I know he's a Mutahar hater too.
Return to Nux's critique of Twitch, another problem with adult content being on a 13+ website is its potential to funnel children to adult websites and services.
Every single freaking ASMR streamer on Twitch is linking their OnlyFans because ultimately Twitch is a massive funnel to that stuff, and Twitch knows that. Most of Twitch these days is a literal funnel to OnlyFans. Remember, this is a 13+ gaming website where 90% of just chatting streams are boobs, funneling people to the OnlyFans of the streamers, because it's not like there's any discoverability on OnlyFans. And the recommended page and every thumbnail on the just chatting category would be banned on YouTube. Bro, do you see what's going on your website, bro?
There's so many
this shit
things
would be
that I know
banned on
about.
YouTube immediately.
I'm not too sure about that last bit, but if a creator's content is directing children to adult websites, making it more available and accessible to them, they are more likely to not only seek out that content, but also far more extreme content than they otherwise would have. Taku, on the other hand, has been criticizing Twitch for allowing this content since the creation of the hot tubs category.
The new Twitch meta, ladies and gentlemen. She doesn't need to see it for learn her browser history. If you look up PONR, her stream is PONR. Bruh.
It's just so noisy.
Bruh. It's unbelievable that this content is allowed.
In February 2021, he released a whole song about it.
I made a music video parody of Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. When the Twitch hot tub meta was going on, all the top streamers were female streamers in hot tubs wearing nothing. And I made a music video parody, Twitch is hentai.
Twitch is hentai. Twitch thoughts giving teens bloody no sleep.
Damn, a great message and a banger tune. There is just one big problem I have with Nux's critique here. He left out the most dangerous element of this kind of content. Any child can see bikini ladies on the beach or at the pool, but they're not going to see bikini ladies doing erotic dances while surrounded by adult strangers who are touching themselves while chatting with them. They are also not going to receive private messages or invitations to join a private group chat where a much older person showers them with attention and makes them feel special. Creators don't just put out content, they have a community, whether it's in their comments or on other platforms. If the creator's content is explicit in nature, then so will their community. If children are allowed into these spaces, the creator is facilitating a space where adults and minors are talking about
I wonder if this is going to go somewhere interesting.
explicit matters with each other. Even if there are no predators in those spaces, if minors are allowed access, they are still being normalized to the idea that it's okay for them to be talking about these things with random adults, making them much more vulnerable. Taku has actually made videos in the past catfishing predators on Discord, but his activism doesn't end there. In 2021,
Hold
he
on,
tried to
what? Hold on, we may have to go full on watching here. Be my pet, ooh. I catfished predators on. No, Nux didn't do the predator hunting, did he? Oh God.
On Discord, but his activism doesn't end there. In 2021, he tried to trick Shadman, the infamous lolicon artist, into a confrontation to grill them for drawing Lolly Beast the comics. Wanna collab? Lamau, no, but your heart's in the right place. Wait, why would Shadman say that? Anyway, these statements and instances where Taku actually mocked messages he received from Shadman have been misconstrued by bad faith actors to
Cope and Seethe reference. Yeah, I mean, you watch this, any of his videos where he's calling someone out and bringing them on his show. I mean, it's like your standard VTuber collab. They're joking with each other, they're high-fiving, all the typical stuff. It is not anywhere near like he is so. I don't think if he got into a heated argument with anybody that he wouldn't do anything but roll over, right, and show his belly.
claim that Taku had some connection with Shadman or a desire to work with him. I mean, look at the timeline. We're supposed to believe that 3 days after catfishing predators, Taku was trying to get on Shadman's good side. It is such easily debunkable nonsense. This whole controversy was just an offshoot of the early Mr. Beast drama, when Ava Chris Tyson's fandom of Shadman was exposed. Taku was among the people calling her
Another very interesting drama on all of the people that had connections to Shadman and the minors that were hanging around in these people's discords. Like, it's just insane how this happens. You get these guys who become famous YouTubers. They have a Discord for their fans, but they do nothing to moderate it, and it becomes like a cesspool for pedophiles to come in.
out on it, but
And some of them might be. Some of the people running the Discords might be.
also for running a Discord server where NSFW content was available to minors. Also for running a Discord server,
Hold on.
the early Mr. Beast drama, when Ava Chris Tyson's fandom of Shadman was exposed. Taku was among the people calling her out on it, but also for running a Discord server where NSFW content was available to minors. Despite his consistent, long-term opposition to children being exposed to adult content, and criticism of multiple creators who have blurred the line between adults and children, Taku continues to be smeared as some kind of pedophile because of his old videos.
My videos were showing people weird shit that came out of Japan to get funny reactions. And I, to this day, do not...
Weird shit. It was just weird shit. Like, you realize that you have it all still on your channel. We can go back and look at it. I think there's some that have been scrubbed, and I know he's gone through and changed a bunch of his thumbnails. But weird shit is an interesting way to put it.
not think that they were harmful videos. I don't.
It really isn't necessary, but let's take a look at one of those examples. If we go to May of 2021, a couple months after releasing the song about Twitch, and a few months before the Shadman collab request, he released this video. It's about Taku reviewing the old comics made by the author of the Nagatoro manga. It's a romantic comedy about the titular Nagatoro, a high school junior. I know a little trick for looking up the old thumbnails of videos on the Internet Archive, and the thumbnail of this video used to look like this. Nagatoro taking
Jesus fucking Christ. Take a look at that. Added the hexagon pattern censorship added by Nick Andros.
off her panties. This isn't the second version. This is the third version. Here is the second version. Nagatoro completely naked, and there's some kind of a chimpanzee behind her.
But she's sitting here in the forest, and all of a sudden, Monkey comes out and starts.
That's a lot of monkey hands.
That's a lot of
Jesus
monkey
Christ.
hands. God damn it. And then they proceed to. Okay, anyway. She ends up having an epiphany that in order to survive, she must drink fluids. So she proceeds
Okay.
to drink
Yeah.
fluids.
I.
Oh, yeah, no. That's why she's like.
The guy who's become the Christian, God-fearing man of, conservative ideology right here, guys. This is what it's about.
Like, you can go as much as you want because
You can dish out there. Okay.
Yeah, she needs to drink it to survive. This is survival instincts. Boom. They were in fact not in the forest. She was in fact with the monkeys in a zoo in front of a whole bunch of people. Crowd of people? No, an audience? Is this a zoo? They saw all of it? The mating act? This is so cursed. This is the worst image in the history of...
Censorship context, girl being held up before a crowd of shocked children.
Why would the monkey bring it up? That's so weird.
So she puts the shock collar that she happens to be wearing.
Oh, they put her on a shock.
Wow, you know this was recent.
What the fuck?
To force her to do the friendship show.
So she's a slave.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up, and then she has to dance like monkey.
Taku is displaying a comic to his audience about a little girl being raped by a pack of monkeys in a zoo exhibit before a crowd of children. The censorship is at times very lacking. There's lots of fluids and even monkey cocks visible on screen. Not only did Taku show that,
No shit.
he's displaying multiple adult websites and shows the names of all the comics, making it easy for the audience members to look them up for themselves.
Lolicon, oh, it hurts so bad.
What? It's got 69.
There's 69,000 Lolicon manga on here.
69,000, no big deal, right?
This is far worse than anything I've seen on Twitch. How is this sponsored by Raycon? Wasn't Taku supposed to confront Shadman for this stuff?
Raycon. Oh, that makes sense now. Kirsha puts out a tweet like every day trying to get Raycon to sponsor her. Maybe it's because Nux had, or still has, I don't know, the Raycon sponsorship.
I thought he was against hedonism and degeneracy. The video was also not age restricted, meaning that he made it visible to his own crowd of children. And the comment section had many children on it. Some of them were asking for Taku to reduce the censorship, and others were asking for the source of these adult comics. When I say children, I'm not just making a blind guess. Many of these children had videos of themselves on their channel. So while Taku was railing against
Razor,
Twitch
you're
for
right,
letting
Razor,
children see
I'm
bikini
sorry.
ladies, he was uploading
Dyslexia.
content like this, with thumbnails like this, to a 13+ website.
Which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea on a 13+ gaming website, by the way.
And nowadays he presents himself as this fighter for God and this opponent of degeneracy and hedonism. This video isn't publicly available anymore because I tweeted a link to it around the time of the post-Nux Clarity incident. It used to embed on the tweet, but now it no longer does, because within 30 minutes of me tweeting it, the video was set to private. There was no apology or explanation, only an attempt to hide evidence of
What a dirty little scumbag. Like, he knows what he's done. He knows what he's doing as a grift. So he's got to hide the stuff when he starts getting called out.
once past, which in itself became evidence of a guilty mind. I have never seen anyone post the kind of content Taku did on a regular basis and not get banned. Not only hasn't he been banned, until recently, he was hanging out with massive, well-respected creators. He might be one of the most underlooked and worst cases of such a high-profile creator, profiting from exposing children to adult content, directing them to adult websites, and running their communities with a total disregard for child safety. Nowadays he pretends that none of this ever happened. He downplays it, lies about it, and deletes evidence of it. Let's start from the beginning. Taku started out as an anime YouTuber in 2015. He grew slowly and steadily, but in late 2019, everything changed. Jeffrey Epstein died in prison. Excuse me, 2 weeks after that.
I also made a video on YouTube that has since been removed, the biggest flexes in hentai. And the degeneracy began from there.
In the video, Taku reviews and recommends 10 hentai animations, 7 of which were categorized as lolly, meaning they contained underage characters.
And this bad boy, very not chill stepfather, has a very not chill relationship with stepdaughter. Again, most people would think this is weird, but hentai clearly knows better.
He was already showing adult content to a 13+ audience, and giving them advice on how to find adult content online.
The reason why I bring it up here is because
without putting text on the screen is nearly impossible to remember. Therefore, since the plot, and it's a goddamn plot, deep thematic and philosophical.
Jesus Christ. You got to be kidding me. Like, how did he not get banned from YouTube over this stuff, right? How I guess stuff gets missed all the time, but now we're to the point that he's a huge creator, and it was still up on YouTube until people started calling it out, until Nick started calling it out.
Undertones here. I believe anyone who wanted to search this bad boy up without said title, because I was a douche for not putting it on screen, would just simply look up time stop hentai. Far easier than... Very understandable. A lot of y'all sent me screenshots on Twitter, link to my Twitter in the description, of the top recommended searches on the hub of prawn. And lo and behold, much to my surprise, WTF fanbase, one of the top hits is Time Stop Hentai. And it stayed like that for 3 goddamn days immediately after me uploading my biggest flexes in hentai video. Now that is the biggest flex in hentai.
At the time, these videos earned him a massive amount of attention. The first video got 500,000 views, and its many sequels were even more successful, with the whole series garnering a total of 5 million views. One of them was even sponsored by an adult game platform. Because these videos were far more TOS risky than his usual content, Naxtaku would soon delete them after uploading to avoid moderation consequences.
The greatest plots in hentai, too!
So he was gaming the system, getting as many views as he could initially, and then deleting it so they didn't ban him for it.
Yes, this video will be deleted soon after uploading for the sake of my channel's survival, but a promise is a promise. So, yippee, here we go. 50,000 likes and the greatest plots in Hentai 3 will be out eventually.
In reality, he didn't actually delete them. He set them to private, and at a later date, he set them to unlisted, meaning that anyone with a link could see them. I actually managed to find these videos quite some time ago. I archived them, and Naxtaku can tell you the rest. Only one of them remains unlisted. Go check it out. If it has gone private, it confirms that Naxtaku knows about this video. After the success of this hentai video series, it soon became the core focus of Nax's content for years to come. By December 2019, he reached 1 million subscribers. In 2020, he was collaborating with some of the biggest...
Dude, it's that thing where like he made one, he shouldn't have made one Degenerate video, but once he started getting the views from it, it's like, oh, I just got to keep doing this. I got to keep getting it. I'm going to make money this way.
As creators on the platform and filming their reactions to adult animations or comics, often involving characters of a questionable age.
There is an asshole door.
He played the algorithm and constantly found ways around the moderation. Yeah, he's absolutely abusing the system for fucking degeneracy.
So it's a woman with her ass out, and this one's like an anal key. And Ash Ketchum is well, at least a young Ash Ketchum seems to be approaching it.
Oh no.
And he uses what's called the fist dash, it seems, to gain entry.
Oh, wow. Is this made for you?
Yeah, I think it's gone now. So now he's sprayed her with the spray of doom.
Oh no. She's quivering.
Why? Why is the noise there?
Oh my god! What? I didn't experience that, no!
Given his size as a creator, Moist Critical actually appeared in Naxtaku's videos surprisingly frequently. He used to be a part of something Naxtaku called the Hentai Gang, and they would react to various hentai clips together.
Oh god!
The Hentai Gang. Oh god.
This is good stuff. We got full color snuff.
Does this still make money? Asking for a friend. Imagine getting reprimanded for swearing and Nux straight up doing porn reacts. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine the people that were banned for, you know, things like slurs and other stuff like that, completely never able to touch it. But then you find out that this guy is out here just watching porn and reviewing lolly and rape hentai.
Euro, torture, amputee. All the wholesome tags.
Sounds good. Let me see that shit.
Naxtaku also deployed a very aggressive...
Which is why I hate how a lot of successful people on the internet not just on YouTube, are always those who find a way to play the system. Yeah, I mean, it's you obviously have to play by the rules that are around you, but like the fact that this was missed by YouTube, it's like unacceptable. This should be the kind of stuff that they're looking for, right? I wonder if the current Charlie would be weirded out by his old self. Probably. Yeah, I would guess so. You can't fault all the people who may have done it with him. You know, it sometimes takes a while to get retrospective and realize, you know, maybe that was a bad idea.
Clickbait strategy. Showing some bikini ladies wasn't enough. He needed cropped hentai, bestiality, and lolly. Despite having displayed this content in his videos and thumbnails for years, Taku has consistently denied being into it, but he also claims he doesn't believe enjoying it makes you a pedophile.
There are 3 levels here, okay? There's lollies, which I have absolutely nothing against. I don't think anyone has anything against lollies, okay? Like Chibidoki or Megumin from Konosuba or Gura. Nothing has anything against lollies. It's lolly that's the gray zone.
Taku would begin to signal anti-lolicon sentiments in 2022, causing drama between him and Rev Says Desu.
They couldn't believe the guy who has used
Here we go, Simon. To some extent, YouTube was also a different beast back then. True. I mean, you think about like some of the stuff that's been happening around there, but even then, they have changed from here. So why is this content still available? And that's what led to his beef with Rev.
related content in his thumbnails, videos, and the same guy who has openly befriended lolicons, followed and praised lolicons on Twitter, could be making such a statement under glaring hypocrisy.
I don't like Rev, but they are making a sound point.
Have you seen your thumbnail?
That's
this
funny.
Thumbnail.
Rev W.
Lolly likers are pedos. This is in quotes, like it's something I actually said.
Hold on. Yeah, base Nick Andrews. So, we're saying the guy who literally uses a little girl for his VTuber is calling lolicons pedophiles? That seems a little like you're stepping on your own toes there.
Pretty reasonable inference of your position based on the content of your tweet.
I did not say this. I didn't even say this a little. Not even a little. And this dude's like, oh, dude, we're going to make this thumbnail. So, dude, when it comes to thumbnails, you can be quiet.
Instead of engaging, Taku acts incredulous that how could someone possibly be saying this?
Then he goes on this whole rant. He's like, dude, you should have your legs broken then because you like lollies. See, you have Gura in the thumbnail. Like, dude, what is going on? What is going on? So, constantly taking me out of context, constantly making me look like a hypocrite for things that I've never been a hypocrite about.
Nux's response to Rev was set to private around the time of the post-Nux Clarity incident. Despite his history, in early 2024, Taku had no problem calling Vosh a pedophile for flashing his lolly horse folder on stream for a couple seconds. Meanwhile, he had his own horse folder on his public YouTube channel. He also forgot to censor the contents of Vosh's folder in his coverage.
Fuck me. Not only is this guy like irresponsible, he's an absolute hypocrite. It's the whole like, oh, you know, I'm going to call people out on whatever I think the popular take is, right? When it comes to the whole beef between Rev and Nux, this is one of the things I actually agree with Rev on. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Rev on that point. He is, you know, we know that I'm not a particular fan of lolly content, right? But being an absolute fucking Tel Aviv impressed.
Old habits die hard, I guess.
I am the one that gets canceled daily for being a gooner on Twitter, by the way. And I have never saved a porn image.
One of the more shocking images in Vosh's folder depicted a lolicon VTuber that Nux had reacted to.
16 is high school. No! Wait, high schoolers aren't lollies. I agree. Lollies are 1,000-year-old cum vampires. I agree.
やり直し的なロリコンの談義をしたい。
Yeah, great intro. Everyone, hey everyone, meet Natsuhito Matsuri, extremely wholesome VTuber. Also, she likes talking about lollies. Nothing weird here at all. Oh god, this rabbit.
You ever think that like Nux sits in front of the mirror and like thinks about this stuff, like what he says, what's happening, what's Rev is a massive hypocrite. I agree with you. But I mean, look at this. Holy shit.
That hole goes deep.
She just said she is into 10 to 12-year-olds, and Nux does not push back in any serious manner. He then proceeds to react to her content for 20 more minutes.
That was a great video, damn!
Nux clearly had no problem with lolly content, and he was happy to pander to lolicons for years. To return to Taku's thumbnails, I've seen comments under some videos mention him changing them, but that early version has not been captured on the Wayback Machine. In the case of this thumbnail, there are low-resolution captures of the early versions, which depict a woman indulging in self-exploration, censored only by this incrementally growing emoji.
Oh, come on. Nux might kiss the reflection. Maybe. I don't know. If anything, he probably has a pillow, a body pillow of his VTuber that he kisses at night.
With these old thumbnails arouse controversy, Taku goes to quietly censor them. He was clearly maximizing the amount of adult content he could show without getting in trouble with YouTube, and he would use various tricks to dodge demonetizations and age restrictions.
The word Shota is blacklisted on YouTube big time. When I made my video talking about the Shota thing, Shota trending on Twitter, I spelled it with a U, and it gets past the censors. I took out the U, instantly demonetized. Added in the U, turns green again. Dude, I'm telling you, YouTube is run by idiots. Evil idiots, but idiots nonetheless.
He would use special characters in titles and euphemistically refer to adult content as being cultured or wholesome. If a parent saw a title like, "I showed cultured clips to normie YouTubers" in their child's browser history, it would hardly stand out as a hentai reaction video. Many of these videos originally had far more explicit titles, but Taku has gone back to censor them later. There are also many...
Yeah, a lot of them he went back and censored after the Shadman stuff came out. It was pretty quick that he was going through them. I remember seeing Nicandros like showing all of the ones that he had changed on X.
videos that are no longer available. Taku wasn't only exposed...
That is like tier 1 tier 1 what the fuck's it called? I can't remember the name now. Oh, the people who follow around lolcows. What is it? It's A-logs. Tier 1, you know, grade A-log.
his audience to adult content, he was directing them to it. Leaving the titles of these adult animations visible on screen was not an oversight or an accident.
I love how people ask me for the sauce. I have the title in the screen, people. That's why I don't make them full screen, so you can always find the sauce.
The source, or the source, being the origin of the adult content. Whenever he showed porn in his videos or thumbnails, the comments were full of requests for the source. Some would name the artist or name the individual work. Others would even post direct links, most of which have been automatically deleted. Some of them still remain, linking to an image tagged with lolly and imminent rape, because Taku used it in his thumbnail. Taku would sometimes pin these source posts, encouraging these ecosystems of porn sharing in his comments.
Holy fuck, like this dude he's like he's like the pedophilic Harvey Weinstein. Dude, money, what's going on? How you doing today? Come in and enjoy the porn-riddled, lolicon-loving antics of Taku.
He's actually acknowledged this phenomenon in his videos.
Half my comment section in the previous episode of the Hentai Gang was all about, where can I find this door one?
Alright, so...
It really isn't hard to find.
Okay, Charlie.
Yeah, it's super easy to find if you just type in, like...
Very cool, Charlie.
Comes up almost immediately, because I didn't remember the name during the episode. That's all I typed in and found it in almost instantly.
Thanks for the instructions on how to find that hentai comic online. As you can see, talking about, exhibiting, and directing people to adult media was a core part of Nux's content, and the community around it. Now, YouTube is again a 13+ website, just like Twitch. So, Nux Taku was making this content available to minors. But did it appeal to them? You've seen enough of his presentation to know that his audience was hardly above the age of 18. If you're putting on this kind of PewDiePie voice, you're not looking for an adult audience. Given his previous focus on anime, Nux Taku's audience...
That might be his real voice. What do you mean? Well, no, Money, I'm not. I have followed a lot of the Nux Taku drama through like Chud Logic's channel and Nick Andros. I've watched Nick Andros' stuff and seen him on X and things like that before too. So yeah, I'm pretty knowledgeable about most of the Nux lore, though I didn't realize how bad it was in his comments and how many of the thumbnails were just porn, just flat out porn.
This would already trend towards being pretty young, but it wasn't young enough. He would imitate the thumbnail style of channels like Game Theory, which is very popular with children, and make lots of other content trying to attract MatPat's attention. He eventually succeeded and collaborated with not just MatPat, but also PewDiePie and Markiplier. Except he didn't. These are just misleading clickbait thumbnails. However, if you were a fan of one of these massive channels with very young audiences, and you were tricked into clicking on one of these videos, your recommendations would fill up with stuff like this.
Like, really? And that actually, that has to go against the clickbait policy, right? The video not being what's stated by the thumbnail. Like that used to be a problem in the thing where you would just put something about politics and then bam, it would be something else completely, or you would say it's a video game channel, because back then it was more about getting the click than people watching your content. I would think they would, well, like I said, there's so many people on it. Yeah, there is a policy with YouTube that if your video isn't, if your thumbnail is, now it has to be, we're talking about, it has to be like, when people think of clickbait now, they think of like the clickbaity thumbnails that happen, like kind of the ones that Nux Taku are doing, right? Though those three, I would say, fall under the other category. What used to happen is these Indian accounts or other accounts like that would just make copy and pastes of YouTubers' clickbait or YouTubers' accounts, but you click on it and it's a completely different video, or it's not that content creator. So a YouTube policy was put in place back then that if you were caught doing this, you would, it would get your channel banned or demonetized or whatever. Well, the partner program was brand new back then. That policy, as far as I know, is still in place, but the word clickbaity has kind of been watered down to what we see now. Yeah, I will use clickbaity titles and thumbnails and things like that occasionally. But that's not the same thing as like flat out the content not actually being what it is. Like him representing he's doing a collab with Markiplier. I don't know how that would fall into it.
This combo of factors that would drive this content to a young audience would not be complete without Nux Taku's favorite rule, that being Rule 34.
And if you're not familiar with the term Rule 34, it's a term and website talking about how if anything exists, there is porn of it.
Nux Taku being obsessed with it is a meme by itself. He was making videos about Pokemon, anime, and other children's IPs while using Rule 34 of them as clickbait. or as the subject of the entire video. The most popular video on his second channel was a reaction to a viral Animal Crossing adult animation with very minimal censorship. There are small blurs around the genital areas, but you could still make out what's going on.
I remember this video too. This was fucking nuts.
What implication? And what's funny about it? When this animation came out, it became a viral meme, and a bunch of kids on TikTok were, as Taku says, doing the things or doing the dance. In other words, publishing media of themselves for anyone in the world to see, in which they are replicating moves from an adult animation they had been exposed to. Very understandably, some people considered this to be a risk to those children's safety.
This is currently the most concerning trend on TikTok.
Is it really the most concerning trend on TikTok? There's literally a trend right now called devious licks, where people break into schools or are in schools and steal stuff like hand sanitizer and fire alarms and toilet seats. They just rip them off the toilets. That is a trend on TikTok right now. But no, this is the most disturbing.
Kids doing a sexualized dance, which has been a problem on TikTok, right? There's apparently like whole content that's there that TikTok I don't think really even moderates, where girls will start dancing seductively for grown-ass men, underage girls for grown-ass men who will make comments and stuff like that. And these girls will keep doing it because it's getting them all that clicks and likes and all of that stuff.
Trend on TikTok. All right, dude.
What's worse, children being at risk of being exploited or children stealing toilet seats?
More and more TikTokers have started to recreate that dance, and it's got people concerned. Basically, a lot of people are afraid that the dance is going to get really popular and kids are going to start coming on the app and doing it and get targeted by predators.
No one's afraid of that. All right, maybe I'm not around TikTok enough and I don't understand.
Everyone would be afraid of that.
But I don't think that people are.
It is still a thing on TikTok. It's just harder to find. Right. I get it. It's, YouTube has had its problems with content coming out like that. Remember like the monkey murder videos that were really big, and there have been channels that have opened up that had kind of the same thing that TikTok is having a problem with now.
Afraid of kids being targeted by predators because they're doing a dance. Okay? Kids are targeted by predators on TikTok for freaking breathing crooked. I don't think this dance is gonna push anyone over the edge, but that's just me.
A child that is publicly self-reporting as having been exposed to adult content is absolutely more likely to be targeted. It means that their internet access is unrestricted and likely unsupervised. They're an easy target.
So if you happen to see any kids on your For You page doing this dance, please nicely encourage them to stop.
Nicely encourage them to stop is just sending hate mobs in nicer words.
This guy could be a total grifter in his own right, but nothing about what he's saying here should be controversial. It's basic, common sense, internet child safety, but Taku takes it as some existential threat, which makes sense when you think about what he's doing for 2 seconds.
It's a threat to his content because he made the video on don't let him stop doing the dance. How are they gonna find my video?
He's regularly uploading content sexualizing children's cartoon characters onto a 13+ platform, characters designed to appeal to children and more likely to be recommended to children. If you look at this video's comments, you see dozens of children explicitly reporting their ages, many of them being under 13. These are not adults pretending to be.
This is why I have all of my kids' shit completely locked up, right? You as a parent should be doing everything you can, like child safety locks and things like that on phones, in the internet, and different apps has come way farther than it was when I was a kid, right? I've seen plenty of fucked up shit online. You talk about like the real fucked up shit, 2 Girls, 1 Cup, which I was a little bit older for, the Pain Olympics, fucking all of the degenerate shit that was out there, just straight up gore porn and other things like that. Yeah. The cartoon playlist that only had porn. Yeah.
Children as a joke. I've seen what's on their channels. They are uploading videos of themselves onto their channels and then leaving public comments under Nuxtaku's videos for anyone in the world to see. There are thousands of comments like this scattered all over Nuxtaku's backlog, some new, some old, but many of them are from children who are still minors. Nuxtaku obviously doesn't directly control who watches his videos or what they upload onto their channels, but he was choosing to upload this content onto a 13+ platform where it was.
I mean, yeah, yes, he doesn't have a responsibility for the people who watch his content, but he does have a responsibility for the content that he puts online. And how are you going to change to like the fake Christian grift when you've got all of this set up on your channel? Like, it's not that that crazy. I'm well versed on internet dangers to the point that if I ever had children, I'd have an idea of how to make them safer. But at the end of the day, kids are smart and figure out how to circumvent locks. Oh, absolutely. I'd for no moment think that that can't happen. I mean, you have to be vigilant, of course. But at the same time, you also, it's a fine line. You have to, like, my goal, you have to lock it down, but you also have to start giving them responsibility, right? You can't just lock them down completely and then at 18 say, here's the internet, have fun. You've got to guide them into it and control it. And I think if you, we'll see, I'm still experimenting with it. If you slowly, you know, give them more rope, slowly give them more responsibility to do it on their own, then you have a better chance of it, maybe them not circumventing it because they do know it'll happen. That's probably me coping, but that's what I'm kind of hoping for.
Is available to children. If you make content about sex and porn available to
I mean, when I was a kid, I was the only one who knew how to use the computer, me and my stepbrother. So that was just that was just what I did. It was, you know, I already had control of the whole thing, so I had access to everything. You need to talk to them because if you don't, the streets will always teach them. True story, true story. I mean, I had a friend who, like one of my closest friends, his daughter is a little older than mine, and they caught her messaging a much older man. My oldest daughter is 13. So, and I think she was 13 at this time. It's you have to talk to them about this stuff. You can't just let it be, right? It's the same thing that I talk about with guns. If you want somebody to not be afraid of guns and you want someone to be properly safe around guns, teach them about it.
Children, you're gonna receive,
or the streets will teach them,
comments about sex and porn from children. If you look at the audience retention graph, you can see that barely anyone is watching this video for Nuxtaku's commentary. All of the attention is hyper-focused on the segment where the adult animation is shown. Who do you think is watching it over and over again? Any adult could just go and watch the uncensored animation elsewhere. However, to the children who cannot access adult websites, this is the most easily available and the least censored version of the animation that they can find. Here is a comment from a child saying that they can't access the uncensored animation because of parental controls. This child's parents did not want them to be exposed to this kind of media, but Nuxtaku's content enabled it to happen anyway.
You would think, like, if I was running a kids channel and that's the shit that came up, like that's the shit that I forgot what I was gonna say now. Okay, if I was running a YouTube channel for kids and I saw a comment like that, I would completely like be disheartened and would change everything about my content. I mean, not that I would do hentai porn, barely censored on my channel, but you get the idea, right? If there's something that I missed in trying to make sure that my content was safe, I would be destroyed. I just use YouTube restricted mode, not kids, and also set up a list of blocked sites on the router level. Restricted mode gets rid of most of the bad stuff. My kid hasn't come across anything like Nux yet. Yeah, my younger ones have I think we have it on restricted. I'd have to, I'm pretty sure we have it on restricted. But the only one who really watches YouTube right now is my son, who's 5. And that he only watches in front of us. Like I don't have him like just running around doing stuff. And, you know, I constantly, like, it's on my phone, so it's an account that I have, so I go through it and see what he's been watching.
Taku knows that YouTube doesn't want that content,
or I can, that's what I mean,
on its platform, and he was actively reverse engineering the site's moderation in order to continue uploading this content without getting age restricted. He was so successful at it that even if you enabled restricted mode and the parental control filters, videos like this would still be visible on his channel. With the same
How about that, Damage Sector? How about that?
Video, where Taku was shitting on this guy for caring too much about child safety, he was contributing to and profiting from all of the issues that the guy was raising awareness of.
Alright, Mr. Noah, I don't know you, and you seem like a decent man. John 3:16, my man. He's a man of the people. This dude, this absolute legend. I didn't even notice that before. Don't quote Bible verses in your bio, dude. What?
Really? Really?
John 3:16 is, "For God so loved the world that he gave his own forgotten son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Alright, gamers. Yeah, alright. If I see that in the bio, I'm gonna... Alright, dude.
Fighting for God was not the moneymaker for Taku at the time. The real moneymaker was running Rule 34 tournaments and networking with massive creators.
What I did today is I gathered 8 YouTubers, put them in a tournament bracket format, and had them battle it out, where they each select different fictional characters.
What's going on, Kaz? Yeah, we're going over the Taku train wreck. Hold on. Did he say hentai tournaments? Hold on, I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Why?
And they had them. I did.
Was running Rule 34 tournaments and networking with massive creators.
What I did today is I gathered 8 YouTubers, put them in a tournament bracket format, and had them battle it out, where they each select different fictional characters, and based on the amount of entries they have on Rule 34, they are stronger choices.
Not only are these videos just flagrant celebrations of degeneracy and hedonism.
You know what makes me really uncomfortable about this? Is the fact that we know that Nux is making this video while having a massive erection.
Yes! No.
They are entirely based around the promotion of an explicit adult website full of adult content of children's characters. The website appreciated the attention and promoted Taku's videos in exchange.
My last video that I used Rule 34, they actually posted my video on the homepage of the website, so in their honor, you know.
If you want to do these competitions with your adult friends, that's totally fine. What isn't fine is uploading these competitions.
Next was doing the ranked jerkmate before it became a meme. Truly a trailblazer. He was a degenerate ahead of his time. This guy's pretty much a douchebag, but I heard the video is good. Nicandros is, sure, I guess you must be talking about the recent Noah stuff. Yeah, I think all the commentary guys generally get called douchebags one way or the other, but I like Nicandros, even with the drama and all that stuff that happened around Noah, and he does make good videos. You can't deny that.
Onto a 13+ platform in which you're promoting an adult website full of thousands of images sexualizing children's cartoon characters. Because of its animated nature, hentai is already much less intimidating to children than photographic adult content. If you're also using characters that are designed to appeal to children, are already familiar to children, and are attached to brands that the algorithm will push to children, you are basically maximizing the potential of your content to introduce children to adult media at even younger ages. I have already shown that this was undeniably a function of Nux's content, but I can't say that it was his intent. However, I can demonstrate that it was absolutely undeniable that Taku knew that children were watching his content. The descriptions of his videos used to explicitly label them as PG-13. This disclaimer can even be found on the monkey comic video. That is an explicit admission that Naxtaku was fine with 13-year-olds seeing this stuff. But we can do better. Months before the monkey comic video and the Animal Crossing video, Naxtaku saw one of his child fans with his own eyes. On October 31st of 2020, he requested his audience to email him the most cursed NSFW videos or memes for a chance to win $1,000. No limit on how horrible it is. Despite requesting NSFW content, the announcement does not list a minimum age, so Naxtaku was giving a financial incentive to minors to find the worst NSFW content they could. After a day, he'd already received thousands of submissions. He would review these submissions a month later in a video with Oompaville and Iron Mouse.
I've never even pondered the thought that we can have lolly and Guro and bondage all in one thing. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Among those submissions was a video that one of
Oompa is such a weird, like, friend for Naxtaku, because he seems like a very normal guy who just, like, I've watched some of his videos and he just he's like a conservative, moist critical, I guess.
Naxtaku's child fans had recorded of themselves.
Oh, what? Bro.
I don't even know what that was.
That was some kid just sent you a video of them shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
It would be really funny not to provide the full context.
Oh, what?
Bro.
That is an
if you're scared of getting sued, this ain't the move.
That was some kid just sent you a video of them shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
Wait, what the fuck?
But I'll do so anyway. It's not CSAM. It's some little boy farting into their phone camera. Then they shoot at their dog with a Nerf gun. There's no nudity, and you can't even see their face. However, they are clearly a child, and based on the size of their hand, a very young one at that. There's also no sign of Naxtaku getting parental consent to publish this video. So he's published a video of someone's child without consent and mixed it in with a bunch of reactions to Lolly Bondage Guro comics.
Oh my god.
This competition was not a one-time thing. It was a whole series, and the total number of emails they received in the end was around...
Like, how was this guy, like, not called out before? I mean, maybe it's a different internet back then. Like, I do know, while I wasn't around YouTube, well, I wasn't watching commentary and things like that around the YouTube around this time and the Shadman time. It's like, I don't understand how people were making the arguments that Shadman's art was freedom of speech when clearly it was not. It was degenerate pedo bullshit.
Around 10,000. Whether he intends it or not, by showing this video, Naxtaku is signaling to the children in his audience that they are welcome to participate. In the rest of the series, Naxtaku shows lots of adult websites and links to them fully uncensored. Not only that, there are many instances in these videos where Naxtaku fails to hide the names of the people sending these emails. So he has solicited children to send him porn, and now he's doxing them to his audience. But that's besides the point here. Naxtaku absolutely knew that children were not only watching, but engaging with his content and his community. Did that cause him to reconsider his content decisions? No.
Yeah, that's true, Kimoji. A lot of things flew that wouldn't fly today. And now we get to look back at all this degeneracy and see how people really are under the hood of the fake personas they put on today.
A couple months later, he released a Twitch song, then the monkey comic video, and then the Animal Crossing video. Not only did he not change, he began criticizing Twitch for exposing minors to adult content, despite exposing minors to far worse things. So there's a rough outline of the mass child mind poisoning machine that Naxtaku operated and made a ton of money from. We have already seen some of the community interactions in the comments of his videos, but that's only scratching the surface.
Yeah, I agree, Redstain. His career should have been over a long time ago.
Let's go back to 2019.
So, the announcement portion of this video is as follows. My favorite of PewDiePie's videos are his Luai videos, where he gets to see how his community memes around his own content. I personally love that style video. How the community itself can come together, because it's not just the YouTuber or the YouTuber's content that's enjoyable, but it's the idea of this little community forming. So, I am creating a Taku subreddit, which will not be called Taku because someone already made r/.
In another effort to imitate PewDiePie, in 2019, Taku founded his own subreddit, r/Taku submissions. Nowadays, it's a hentai dumping ground, but back then, it was full of memes about anime and children's cartoons.
Hey, stop touching weird places. Don't worry about it. It's flat anyway. Destruction 100. Ho ho ho. Huge roast there. That's like the ultimate hentai logic as well.
But this is Taku we're talking about. So there were also posts about hentai. For several years, the Reddit had no moderation other than Taku. And on one occasion in 2020, the Reddit was spammed full of hentai.
There were thousands, nay, tens of thousands of posts of Sakura hentai.
The Reddit was also not marked as 18+, and there was no minimum age listed in the rules.
Yeah.
Forgive me,
Nux
Lord,
could
but I
never
did
be
it. Please
PewDiePie.
forgive me. Stop sending Gentai. Why? I already lost No Nut November. Half of my class saw Aqua's butthole on my screen. To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole. And your class should be thankful.
The OP of this post was 12 years old.
To be fair, mad
Fuck.
Aqua's butthole on my screen. To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole. And your class should be thankful.
The OP of this post was
I watched it when I was 11. Now I'm 12. Holy shit.
12 years old.
To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole. And your class should be thankful.
They are literally talking about a class in that post. There is no reason not to assume they might be a minor. And had Taku checked their profile when this screenshot was taken, he would have seen this comment. This child was not a one-time poster. Between October 2019 and August 2020, they made 160 posts to the Reddit. Many of them appear in Taku's videos, sometimes back-to-back. So Taku was profiting from their presence on the Reddit, and the attention he gave to their posts would encourage them to continue engaging with his community. Some of their posts on the Reddit mention depression, some include hentai, and sometimes they would be sharing and requesting the source.
Lord, could you please grace us with the source?
In one of their earliest posts, they mentioned having gotten into weird, kinky shit. In the comments of that post, they shared a story about having been molested. Quick reminder, Taku made money from allowing this person to be present in his community. They had multiple very highly upvoted posts that made it into Nux's videos, and he would say,
Dude, this kid's life is cooked. Like, you just completely fucked your brain over.
Sometimes show multiple of them back to back in the same video. The only reason I'm comfortable drawing attention to this user is because the account has been abandoned for years. As far as I know, it was never banned. After going through all of their comments and posts, I was unable to find any connections to other social medias, so they should be anonymous. This was also not the only child present in the community. By doing a couple searches, you can find many others openly stating their age. Content creators exploiting the volunteer labor of their audience for content is nothing new, but those spaces have teams of moderators to keep the content.
I exploit Kamoji and Grizzle as my moderators.
Age appropriate. When you have a community that includes minors, you would ideally be proactive and lean on the side of caution, as we can see from this announcement on Taku's Discord from January 2022. Moderation-wise, the Reddit was totally unattended for years. It doesn't matter whether Taku knew that dozens of minors were openly posting, sharing, and talking about adult content on his Reddit with adult strangers. As the head of that community, he bears ultimate responsibility for what he allows to happen in it. It was his responsibility to establish rules against this behavior and to enforce them. Even the most basic, common sense rule for an NSFW community was too much to ask. On December 30th of 20...
Dude, this sounds like, oh God, there was some drama a little while ago, or some degenerate, oh, it was that slime guy what was this, Lewis Slime or whatever it is? I don't want to make it 18 plus. I don't want an 18 plus channel. I don't want to take responsibility for what happens in my Discord.
2021, Taku would launch his Discord server.
That's right.
I just want to be clear. If anything happens on my Discord, I'm blaming Kimoji and Grizzle and scrubbing everything.
I
Limus the Slime. That's right, Red Stain.
opened a public Discord server. I swore to myself I would never do it because the degeneracy would be too much, and the degeneracy is already too much. So join that Discord server. It's a public server. It's open. 16 or older, though, please.
I am happy that he has a minimum age rule this time, but setting it to 16 is a massive self-report that he is aware that a large chunk of his audience is underage. It's also
16 plus? Really?
highly questionable given his decision to launch the server with a set of NSFW channels, including an NSFW voice channel. To be honest, I was
Why? I don't
surprised
even
that there were
know.
NSFW channels when the server rules said 16 and up, because NSFW is supposed to be 18 and up. I mean, if you already watch Nux, fair. To be clear, those channels were supposed to be only for adults. But given the state of Discord's age verification, setting a channel into NSFW mode doesn't really do anything to stop minors from accessing it. All they have to do is lie about their age to Discord. The channels were fortunately removed 6 days after the server was open to the public. The announcement of their removal does mention issues like minors sneaking in by lying about their age. However, the main reason was that having NSFW channels disqualified the server from Discord partnership. Some users protested. Nux's content already involved a lot of
Considering how much Nux's content involves NSW, it makes sense that people would share that content within his community. A lot of his friends are also making NSFW related content, so it makes the fans feel that a space for the community would accept the material being shared.
of NSFW media, so why not allow people to post it in his community? A staff member responded that the age group of the Billies, that being the name of Taku's fandom, wasn't appropriate for it. So even Taku's Discord staff members knew that a large chunk of his audience were minors. The decision to have NSFW channels on the server was already questionable in the first place, but it becomes even more questionable when you remember that Taku made that predator catfishing video months earlier.
I wanted to make this sort of an educational topic and bring light to an issue that's really big. There's a lot of predators on Discord. Like, a lot.
There's a lot of predators on Discord. Like, a lot.
How do you make a video raising awareness of Discord predators, but then set up a Discord server which will facilitate adult conversations between adults and minors? But hey, they deleted the NSFW channels quickly, so the problem is solved, right? Not necessarily. Taku shouted out to Discord on December 28th on his Twitch, and December 30th on YouTube. His audience floods in, there's problems with minors showing up in the NSFW channels, and then they find out that having them at all would disqualify them from Discord partnership. Instead of wiping them out instantly, they announce they'll be deleted in 2 days. Why? So that people can pay their respects to a Discord goon channel? I saw a member of the council mention that the users on the NSFW channels set up their own fan NSFW server, which I have to guess the staff allowed them to promote on those channels. I can't confirm that since those channels are now gone.
So he didn't encourage, the NSFW on his site, but he encouraged a porn Discord for people to share porn, even though he knows there are minors in his Discord and in his audience that are gonna go there.
But I saw one user even in the general channel promoting their own NSFW server. So all of those minors who were lying about their age in the first place and accessing the NSFW channel on Nux's server would just get funneled to that fan server instead. Who was moderating it? Who knows? What age verification standards were they going to uphold, assuming the admins are not minors themselves, or even worse, adult predators? There's a lot of those on Discord apparently. I'd like to remind you at this point that Ava Chris Tyson's Discord server was private when the NSFW channels were open in 2018. It was closed when the server was open to the public in January 2019. In Tyson's case, the drama was about Lava GS, Nathan, and apparently a handful of other minors being present on the server while it was private. The initial accusations made by Prison 42 also included claims of Tyson.
This guy was an absolute. He fumbled like the best information he had and became a lolcow himself because he's this conservative dumbass, I guess, who just, I don't know. It was so awful that he just started to make fun of, and it got taken over by other commentary people.
Grooming Lava GS, but no evidence for that was ever found. The Discord just had NSFW content available to minors. By those standards, Nuxtaku's Reddit was already way worse, and his Discord way worse 4 years after Tyson's Discord, when there was more of a general awareness of these issues. Tyson's server apparently still had sexual chats or juvenile banter after it went public, but looking at the kinds of terms that were frequently used on Nux's Discord, there was plenty of that to go around. If NSFW content was now banned from Nuxtaku's Discord, how did they handle Nuxtaku's NSFW content? If the thumbnails contained
No. It wasn't Chris Tyson. The guy who called out Chris Tyson for his Discord and said that he was grooming Lava, who was underage at the time, was this, I forget his name. He just said his name and I already forgot it. But he came in with like this video that everyone started watching, but then he like absolutely bombed it and started becoming a lolcow in himself. And people started making fun of him as well. It's like it's a very similar to the Dog Pack 404 stuff. Yeah, that guy.
NSFW content, the staff members would remove their embeds. Darn Nux using blatantly NSFW thumbnails that stay in the Discord cache after he censors them. Some users would still post NSFW images from Nux's content or the content of his friends, and the staff, despite reacting to them, wouldn't delete them. God damn it, Nux, we're trying to keep the order. In a recent one, he used a thumbnail from an actual porn video. Okay, so Nux.
Well, he kind of exposed the fact that he did all of this without the consent of the victim. That's right. That's what it was. Is he decided to pull the victim into it, and everyone went after him for that.
Nux again with the nip slip, I see. This is Pokemon branded Lolly Bestiality in January 2022. According to the Wayback Machine, this thumbnail was left like this for months. This is on par with his idea to make Twitch streamers say the N-word. We removed the embed. Nux is pushing the limits, Lamau. What is he pushing the limits of? The thumbnail of his latest video. Then why he do it non-censored then? That's the big question. Here's a bigger question. If the age group of Nux's audience is too young for his Discord community to have NSFW channels, but most of the people on this server came from Nux's channel, why is the content of that channel too NSFW for the demographic of the Discord? Isn't this massively self-incriminating? Despite having this long history of running communities where minors were exposed to adult content, and that being the very core of his YouTube content for years, in 2024,
they tried to say no, the victim was being groomed. The internet once again shows that they don't care about kids, but about getting a little bit of clout. Yeah, I mean that happens so often you can't count. It's why I hate the pedo hunters and stuff like that. They're not doing it because they actually care about children. They're doing it to make a spectacle of the pedos so they can get, likes for taking down pedos. But most of the time, most people don't get arrested in those cases because they fucking botch it.
Nuxtaku wasn't only criticizing, but grandstanding over Ava Chris Tyson. He was also putting Lolly Bestiality into his content before and after he was supposed to confront Shadman for drawing Lolly Bestiality on September 30th of 2021. However, Nuxtaku's numerous lies about his association with Shadman is something for a different video. There's also the V-Shoujo drama to cover, which lots of people think he was in the right about. That is not the case at all, but so again...
That's actually the first time I heard of Nuxtaku was the V-Shoujo drama. And at first I was like, okay, it's kind of on his side, but then the fact that he posted like all of the stuff that was going, I mean, it's that same thing, right? He didn't care that this hacker or whatever thing that was going on. He only cared that he got to look like the hero, so he posted everything. Apparently, it's like, I don't remember. I don't know if anyone knew if it was with or without. I know he said it was with their permission, but I guess Feed Shoujo changed their tune. That was a while ago.
Different video. It's a real shame because what I'm going to reveal next is likely going to kill his career. Not to imply what I presented earlier isn't already bad enough, but this is just beyond forgiveness. You see, there is another Taku Discord server, even older than his.
You knew him when he interviewed the One Piece live action crew? Did he interview them? That's nuts.
Subreddit. I saw an ad for it, which made me very intrigued.
Really help keep my channel afloat. All patrons are invited to the Discord server where we hang out having a great time, and unlike Tumblr, we have an NSFW section.
Okay.
Welcome to the Nexus, Taku's Patreon Discord, founded in April of 2018. In its current state, the server is almost totally inactive, but the NSFW channel is still here. Despite having an NSFW channel, the server's rules mention nothing about a minimum age, and there is nothing about it being 18+ on the Patreon side.
All right, we're here to hear about this Discord. Pretty much most of the stuff up until this point I've known about. Not so much his Discord stuff. That's new to me, but I want to hear about this Patreon.
Either. What's special about this community is Nux's level of engagement. He wasn't talking to people on his Reddit, and he kept the interactions on the public Discord to a minimum. However, on the Patreon Discord, at least in 2018-2019, he would actually talk to people and even hang out in voice chats with them. Here we can actually see him talking with the artist behind his 2019-era character. The original high-resolution files are here as well. This one, where Nux is rubbing his hands, has the file name nux_merchant.png. Very interesting. The NSFW channel wasn't there from the start. We can trace its creation to this exchange from October 15th, 2018, where we can see this user, who from now on will be called Red, repeatedly asking Nux to create it. If we look at the time and date of these messages, the NSFW channel was made 2 minutes later.
Let's go back here. Oh, what would you title it? Nux, where's the NSFW room? Why JoJo Part 5 will be an anime? LOL, are you gonna use that? No, seriously, we need an NSFW room. Or should I? This is the start of the NSFW channel, and NSFW content allowed. Stuff you should show, you shouldn't show to your boss, parents, or younger siblings. Like he cares about that. Disturbing content needs to be put in spoiler tags and mentioned as such. Not allowed personal nudes from you or people you know, content of minors, content depicting minors or childlike adults. That's interesting that he puts this on there, knowing his entire channel was propped up on that.
In response to this, Red raised their Patreon pledge.
Increase the $10 a month because of the NSFW room. Appreciate it.
And Nux gave them a thumbs up. For a brief moment, let me take you to August of 2024. Taku is finally being pressed about his past content, and he was actually pushed into making a response.
The biggest shock to me to this day entering the broader commentary sphere was the dangers lurking around every corner in regards to children. Children are not safe on the internet. I only became chronically online after high school, but I couldn't imagine what it would do to me if I was in some YouTuber's Discord server at the age of 12 or 14.
You...
Like, absolutely no self-reflection.
Couldn't imagine. You don't need to. Red joined the server on September 7th. On day 1, they openly declared themselves to be 14 years old. They would later claim to be 15 multiple times, but as they openly stated, they were lying about their age. Red was born in 2000.
They were actually 11. Oh no.
They had turned 14 soon before they joined the server. The Discord was a pretty small clique, and soon enough, basically everyone on the server knew that Red was underage. Despite this, Taku made the NSFW channel for them a month later.
The 11-year-old is the one that asked for the Discord server? Or for the NSFW channel? How do you like, he can't be explicit and just didn't know this shit was happening, right? Like, everyone on the server knew this kid was 11 or 12 years old, and not a moderator stepped in, you know, he didn't step in, none of this stuff. He just let it happen.
And within a year, they had posted 242 messages on the channel. There's also an instance where another user pinged Red into the NSFW channel. As far as I can tell, this behavior was not punished. So a 14-year-old paid Taku money to be on his Patreon Discord server. He made the NSFW channel for them, after which he accepted even more money from them, and allowed them to post onto that channel for over a year before they left the server. But did Taku know that Red was underage? There is no message of Nux acknowledging Red's age, however, it is extremely unlikely that he didn't know. In this conversation from earlier, where Red says they're lying about their age, Taku shows up soon afterwards. In this conversation, there's some kind of an ERP going on in the general chat, which is interrupted by Red. Red is told not to get involved because they're underage. After Red says the conversation is making them...
Yeah, but they could see it. They could see what's going on with this RP, so it's there, but it's just like, oh no, don't interact with it because you're underaged. They shouldn't be viewing it to begin with.
Gag, another user jokes, oh no, we better stop if we are gagging a minor. Red pinged Taku.
That's straight pedo talk. That's straight fucking pedo talk. Are you kidding me? Like, this is by far the worst content. If anyone still hangs out with Nux after this kind of content's going on in his server, holy shit, people have lost their whole careers for less.
Soon afterwards, but Nux didn't show up. This is Mintheus Mouselord, or Mitochondria, or Mito. According to Taku, they were the best poster on the NSFW channel. In this conversation about BDSM, we can see Red asking Mito to send their presentation on sex toys to other users. Note, I just made the presentation because Red was clueless. After Bex mentions having a high...
This is just straight grooming. Like, this is the definition of grooming. I have a higher tolerance for weirdness. Don't worry. I feel like it wasn't as funny if it wasn't quite late during the presentation. I'm extremely weird and a horrible person. Nux at Beck's proud fam bait. You're telling me he didn't see any of this. There's no way he knew that this person was a minor in his Discord, right?
High tolerance to weirdness, Nux shows up.
If you think about it, Nux got out easy because this could have turned out really bad. Oh, it absolutely could have. This could have, like, and there's no telling what might have happened that didn't happen in the Discord, because they don't generally do it directly on Discord. They start talking in DMs and then go to another site or get phone numbers or other fucking shit that's going on. So who knows which of these people are actually pedophiles that are grooming this kid for stuff, right?
To say, proud fanbase. Gremmen asks Mito to send the presentation to Nux. I think that Red already sent it to him. No, I told ya. Never sent it, but I can now. What are we sending me? A sex toy presentation. Why? Lol. We needed to explain sex toys to Red. Nah, it's fine if it's not sent to Nux. Already did, Mito. I'm not doing honest descriptions on all Maito's sex toys. Few minutes later at 2:16, Nux says, "Very cool, Maito, very cool." Nux Taku has now received a direct message from a minor on his server, containing a link to a sex toy presentation that was made for them. What adult is clueless about sex toys? That's a massive red flag that Red is a minor. There was a previous time a month earlier when users in the voice chat text channel begged Nux Taku to join the VC because they needed help explaining sex toys to Red. Again, what adult doesn't know what sex toys are? In this example,
Oh God, did he go in? Did he go in?
Nux Taku declined the invitation to join the VC, but he absolutely was in voice chats with Red multiple times. One of my agents reached out to Red and
Agent N. If you don't know the lore with Agent N, that's what Chud Logic started calling Nicandros at the beginning of him starting to come up and do these different videos and things like that. It was brought to you by Agent N. So it's funny that people going in for him are, well, calling themselves Agent N. What's up? Hey, I was wondering if you were open to answering some questions about your time on Nunchaku's Patreon server. Shoot your shot.
asked them about their time on the server. They were willing to share their DMs with Nux to show that they did actually send him the sex toy presentation.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, it didn't just like couldn't have turned up bad. He's got them in the DMs.
So that actually happened. It wasn't just a joke. When asked about whether they were ever in voice chats with Nux Taku, Red recalled being in a VC with him plenty of times.
Oh yeah, I was in VC with him plenty of times. He would pop in a couple of times a week. I did also have a very squeaky voice back in the day. So, well, yeah, you were a fucking child. I did also have a very squeaky voice back then. I was so surprised if he didn't notice, considering everyone else did. But he never directly commented on it in my memory. Imagine if they met Red IRL. Whoo, bud. The way this is going, I wouldn't be surprised if I unpaused it and that was the next thing to come up.
Couple of times a week. They'd be surprised if Nux didn't notice them being underage, since everyone else did. However, they don't recall Nux ever commenting on their age. Now, I am not a journalist. I'm just a guy on the internet. However, I know you're not supposed to take one person's word and just run with it. Red could be misremembering, they might have some bias for or against Nux Taku, so it's important to have corroborating evidence. On December 15th, 2018, Nux Taku pinged a deleted user to a VC. Red says Nux is in VC, everyone flood, implying they joined the voice channel with Nux. There's a similar message from January 15th, 2019. If we scroll down a bit, we can see a screenshot showing Nux in the VC with Red. The real Nux Taku here is the real Nux Taku. Here's another screenshot from the time. Same name, same avatar. The current music channel used to be the old
Redstain, this is absolutely insane. Thank goodness for Nicandros being the being the autistic man he is to sweep through all of this content and find out just how degenerate this dude is.
voice text channel, and on it we can sometimes see Red and Nux posting things close to each other that only make sense if they were in the VC at the same time. Here, for example, Nux is working on a thumbnail. There's a message from Red, messages from Nux Taku, and then a message from Red. An hour later, messages from Nux Taku. In this one, we have a message from Red addressing Nux. Later a photo from Nux, then a photo from Red. In this instance, Red asks somebody to join the VC. Another user posts a cake.
We used to bully people that exposed minors to shit like things. The wrong people are being protected. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Up Charizard. Nux Taku shows a work in progress.
Here's what we need to ask, though. Is Nux Taku in the Epstein files? Has he been to the island?
Thumbnail. Message from Red, the Charizard from earlier is now on Nux's thumbnail. There's plenty of evidence of Red speaking, having audio issues, and other users commenting about their voice. So it's not like they never talked in the VC. I think this evidence sufficiently corroborates Red's recollection that they were in the VCs with Taku multiple times.
So.
I'm not sure about a couple times a week, but certainly multiple times. Red was already behaving in a pretty immature way, even in the text messages.
Time to bring back the Lang-inducing conga parrot.
They would spam emojis and walls of text. To believe that Taku didn't know Red's age, you'd have to believe he missed all of the instances when their age was mentioned. You'd have to believe no one told him Red was a minor in chats, VCs, or DMs, and that Nux didn't realize it from their voice when talking to them in VCs. This should already be enough to strongly conclude that Taku knew. But to show the full extent of the evidence and the full extent of Taku's beyond incomprehensible neglect, we need to introduce a new character. After joining the server, Red quickly made friends with another user called Alan Vebus. I know that Alan's avatar here looks an awful lot like Mr. Obvious from my engineer video, but they are not the same person. Alan was a small anime creator at the time and would promote his videos on Nux's Discord. The metadata of his channel reveals that he is from Romania, and he would often mention things about it on the server. There's a lot of conversations between them and Taku on the server, and Nux has mentioned Alan's name 100 times. He even shouted out Alan's channel in a video from October 22nd, 2018.
All patrons are...
No. I do not know if I want to hear how old Alan is.
Invited to the Discord server, where we do things like make fun of Alan Weebus. If you don't know who Alan Weebus is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy. He's in a special kind of category where everyone that relates to him in any way is a tsundere, because we all constantly make fun of him and make believe we hate him, but we all low-key like him. And also, thank you, Alan Weebus, for donating $10 on Patreon, so now I get to shout you out in all my videos. Link to Alan Weebus' channel is actually in the description. He makes funny shiz, and he takes the edge out of edgy, which leaves you just why? Like, why is he making this video? That kind of thing. Anyway, special thanks to King Beat My Meat Sage.
Alan was a very major contributor to the NSFW channel. However, according to Nux, they were still inferior to Mitochondria. He apparently got his material from following more than 300 hentai artists on Twitter. That's only a third of the amount that Tecton was following. Alan has made a lot of claims about their age, including saying that he was as young as 15. Plenty of users, including Taku, have also claimed Alan to be underage. Alan is a lolly, no can do. Alan is underage. Does that mean Nux is grooming Alan? What's going on here? According to Red's recollection, Alan was around 19 at the time. In this tweet, they claim to be 19 in 2019. So if they're telling the truth here, they would have been 18. Another former member believed Alan to be around 21. According to Red's recollection, no one on the server genuinely believed Alan was underage. These statements about Nux grooming Alan or Nux calling Alan a lolly are simply jokes. Very optically bad jokes, but jokes nonetheless. While I'm not sure about Alan's exact age, they were clearly an adult. Alan has unfortunately deleted their Discord account, which makes it hard to determine which messages are his, but we can still tell if it's him talking thanks to context clues. Here Taku mentions that Megumin from Konosuba is best girl. Alan points out that she is 14 years old. Another deleted user, who I assume is Zack, asks Alan about another character called Tiger. There's two deleted users talking here, so how can we tell them apart? Alan must be one of them because their name is mentioned. So this one must be Zack. One of them mentions the age of consent in Romania being 15, so that must be Alan. Zack uses capitalization, while Alan doesn't. That's how we know that it was Alan who said, "Who cares? If she can count, then she ready to mount."
This is Hassan taking more shots at Taku and his...
Listen. Everybody likes some pedo jokes from time to time, but there's a point when you're saying too many pedo jokes that everyone starts to realize that you're a pedophile.
Week-long feud with me while defending his bro tips past. All right,
I never brought up his bro tips past because I felt like it was so long ago, it's not worth it. But he's bringing up like random shit from forever ago and warping it into calling me a pedophile for insane reasons. Did you know that in his bro tips past, he had a famous quote where he said, if she's old enough to count, she's old enough to mount?
Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time. Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark?
If that's not pedophile behavior, I don't know what is.
When Hassan said that in 2013, he was playing a character, and he was asking it, not flat out stating it like Alan did. We can see Taku right here not condemning those words at all. So he either used to not care about
more pedo hypocrisy
behavior, didn't think that it was pedophile behavior, or his attack on Hassan is knowingly deceitful. There's a difference between waifu and best girl. Waifus are mountable, so therefore the best girl isn't. However, the art of the best girl is lolly inclusive. Nux is using that word in the petite anime character sense, not the cartoon CP sense. Nux's stance on personally not being into lolly hentai has been consistent for years, but it didn't stop him from posting it onto YouTube. Then Alan says, lollies are very mountable. Taku responds, you're terrifying, Alan, and moves on. This was 12 days before Nux gave Alan that shout out on his channel. So Alan saying things like this didn't seem to be a problem to him.
And he takes the edge out of edgy.
Look at this art. This art is better. And it's Alan posting a comic about some boy kissing his dog. I wish I would be able to get sick from stuff like this again. By the way, don't ask why do I have that. Why do you have that? Red sent it to me. He always sends me fucked up shit like
he's DMing with a minor. 19-year-old DMing with an 11 or 12-year-old. It's not contained.
this. That guy's a sociopath, I tell ya. Red shows up and claims Alan is the one who sent it, and shows a screenshot from their DMs. Wow, you resort.
Alan is sending minors porn. Alan is a groomer.
The Photoshop to make me look bad? Shame. Red shares another screenshot showing some of Alan's earlier messages. People have no shame, shake my head. Also, I hope someone at school sees you watching this. Is that Minecraft? Yes, I'm 15. Deal with it. Oof, I feel old. He's literally the youngest guy here. I am the youngest? Oh, he is. Makes sense. Yep, Red is 15-year-olds personified. Ha, I'm still underage. So, cause you're talking to me, you are all technically pedophiles. Not me. Yup. Remember, the age of consent in Romania is 15, so I can smack you.
Pedophile, 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 pedophile. This is getting worse by the moment.
That's all I want. It's only been 26 minutes since the last time Alan brought up the Romanian age of consent. Alan would make similarly inappropriate comments about Red on the 16th of December. But let's return to October 8th.
Hold on. What was that one? What was that one? I gotta be quicker on the draw. Come back. Makes sense. I need your 15-year-old. You see, it gets to that point where, like, it's not a joke. This guy is a genuine pedophile grooming a kid in a public Discord.
Appropriate comments about Red on the 16th of December. But let's return to October 8th. You are willing to send me the most fucking disgusting shit you have. I only send it to you because you're 15. Exactly. Nobody else would. I initially planned to traumatize you because you were acting tough, but I underestimated you. Who, me? I'm not tough. I guess edgy instead of tough. I am edgy. Not that tough though. Yeah, I got that. I need to train you to become tough.
Oh, God, please. I want to just rip my fucking skin off. Pull out my eyeballs.
Okay. At this point, Nuxtaku or the moderators should be intervening and investigating what's happening in the DMs between Alan and Red.
100%.
However, there wouldn't be any moderators or rules on the server until 2020. In late 2019, the server was raided by...
How do you not at least like set someone that you can trust as a moderator, right? Like a friend or like someone. Like I have 2 people that I've put in, and I'm a nobody fucking channel, but because I have a Discord, I want another set of eyes in there besides me. And
by gore spammers multiple times, and Nuxtaku did nothing about it. What finally made him appoint moderators is when his patrons pulled their pledges. This is one of his own newly appointed moderators saying it at the time.
I feel like I need to be caught up since I haven't been in the server for a few months. Welcome back then. We have had a few individuals raid the server with disgusting pictures and harassment, which led to people removing their Patreon pledges. This was the event that made Nuxtaku finally appoint mods, as we are 3 now. We then created a few community voted channels and sorted them around a bit. We also put a slow mode on hashtag comments to prevent ongoing conversations that would have to go through just to answer questions. And now we're all waiting to get at least a single active admin so we can properly manage the server. Holy shit. If I see grooming on the pig pen, you're being sent to the farm. If I see grooming on the pig pen, Komoji, I'm pulling you to the farm with me.
According to Red, on the first day they joined the server, Alan spammed their DM.
I remember the first day I joined, he spammed my DMs with a bunch of like gore and NSFW stuff, like corpses and stuff. Yes, lots of beheading videos straight from Live Leak. Whew, the Live Leak days.
DMs with a bunch of gore and NSFW content. There are multiple instances of Red or Alan publicly mentioning Alan sending gore to Red. Here's one from October 6th. On October 14th, Alan mentioned showing his personal collection to Red. On January 1st, 2019, Alan actually posted a gore image into the voice chat channel and pinged Red. In February 2019, Red reacted to a meme by saying, "I can take pictures of men's penises being cut in half, but this is too much even for me." It was a GIF and just a tip. Yeah, for dramatic effect, Alan, shake my head. The message below contains nudity, and if we go one message further, we can see a message from Nuxtaku. Alan
Yeah, there's just no way he didn't know this was going on.
Alan having a fascination with gore seemed to be pretty well known on the server. One regular user made this meme about the various quirks of the other regular members. Alan's comedic summary was, posting extreme mutilation pics. Notice that Nuxtaku was pinged on this message. Sending this kind of material to a minor is very harmful and a crime, and it's been going on for 5 months, and Nuxtaku has done nothing. Red would sometimes ask Alan to send him things.
5 months. 5 months of unmoderated grooming in Nuxtaku's Discord. I've already watched this video, but yeah, this is where the stuff really gets good. I don't know if good is the term for it, Simon. It gets criminal.
Send me the most fucked up shit you have. Look for it yourself. I want my friend to know you are worse than the dark web. Soyboy here is another adult user and also a small anime creator. He already knows that Red is underage. Despite this, he asks Red if he can send them something truly disturbing. Okay, Soy, send it to me. BT? Come on. I expected at least nugget. If you don't know what that word means, don't look it up. Alan proceeds to drop codes to some extremely obscene comics. Thanks, Alan. Soy, I am extremely disappointed. Red, you scare me. That is actual animal rape and murder. I know. How is that not the most fucked up thing? Alan sent me a video of a man getting his head off by a machete. Real life, of course. Nuxtaku was pinged about something off topic immediately after that message.
Oh, it good goods in terms of the level of dirt on Nux. Yeah, this shit is vile. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know how... Well, he'll probably just completely ignore it. at this point. But I don't see him having a good time on X or on the internet. I foresee a lot of blocks coming.
But he didn't show up. After getting Taku to create the NSFW channel, Red suggested making a Not Safe for Life channel for Alan, to which Alan said, "I wouldn't make Taku watch something like that. You, on the other hand, can get it." Taku's nowhere to be seen, but then Soyboy mentions Toei Animation claiming one of his videos. Taku replies to him with advice, once again showing how close he was to seeing these warning signs. Beyond conditioning Red into tolerating extremely shocking and obscene imagery, Alan also encouraged them to drop out of school. On Tuesday, October 9th, Red mentions skipping school to binge-watch anime. Alan cheers them on and says that skipping school is badass, and that he's doing it as well, because he's a badass like Red. On October 10th, Taku pings various users, including Red, to inform them that he finished reading the Black Clover manga all in one day. School got cancelled for the rest of the week for me because the head teacher got so I shall be around lots. Words like head teacher and school are used by children, not college students.
Oh boy, I've been in few Discord servers with a Not Safe for Life channel, and I always have them muted. I've never been in one with a Not Safe for Life channel, so we'll say I'm lucky on that one.
Another clear red flag that Red is a minor, right in Nox's face. What? Go to sleep, kid. Another clear indication that Red is a minor. Yeah, lol, 176 chapters in a day. This is 5 days before Red got Taku to create the NSFW channel. If you're worried about that stabbing story, it's something that Red made up at the time. On Thursday, October 11th, Red mentions having skipped 4 days of school to binge anime. Another user cheers him on. School is a waste of time. On Monday, October 15th, Red thinks about joining a VC because there's a lot of people on, but he says that school starts in 30 minutes. Alan once again encourages Red to skip school. On Thursday, October 18th, Red asks Alan for advice on how to lie to their parents to get out of school. Anyone here a good liar? Alan makes multiple suggestions. On October 30th, Red pinged Alan because he wants to speak to someone that he trusts. Red mentions having the problem.
Oh my. Trusts. He trusts an adult who's been sending him tons of gore porn and other types of porn.
Of no longer going to school. Alan asked if they quit like a badass mad lad, once again encouraging Red to drop out of school. On December 9th,
Trust, man, it's pretty insane, and there's a reason why people tend to have them muted or outright not have them. Yeah, I would, I would guess that. There's some people who are just completely fucked on the internet, right? And, enjoy things like that. But you've got to... If you're going to have a Discord channel, you have to really think about what's going to be happening in your Discord channel.
Violet asks, "Are you guys students or out of school?" Alan says he and Red dropped out. Red says that Alan inspired him. On
I'm only on Degen servers if it's only people that I know. I don't trust strangers to share NSFW without them lying about their age. That's fair. That's fair, Kamoji. That's probably the best thing you can do. I don't have problems with like NSFW channels, as long as they're moderated properly, right? I'm never going to have NSFW in my channel. That's not the kind of content I do, and I just don't want to even deal with that to begin with. So yeah.
January 4th, 2019, Red once again says he quit school. He doesn't care about it anymore. On April 10th, 2019, Red described themselves as a 15-year-old dropout. Alan shows up and says, "Agreed," and that's coming from an older dropout. So how did Red manage to drop out of school? Let's go to February 2019. Red is talking to Bex, who seems to be having some form of breakdown caused by opiate withdrawals. Many of Beck's messages actually mention them being addicted to drugs, spending all their money on drugs, and having various mental illnesses. Please keep that in mind when passing judgment about what I'm going to show next. I might be overly cautious here because YouTube does not like when certain things are discussed, such as SH. And in this exchange, knowing they're in the presence of a minor, Bex explains how it works and basically makes it sound really cool.
Are you fucking kidding me? Why are we promoting physical harm? Because I want to fucking die, Bush. So you want to add more pain. Okay. Okay. Fucked up. I don't get it. I manipulated my parents into letting me quit school. It doesn't stack. I have... Jesus Christ.
Imagine only doing it twice. I decided to stop before I couldn't. Real sad boys have on their thighs. Red then reveals that they built their upper arm a lot of times. Bex comments, "Ooh, nice." Again, this was a very irresponsible way to talk about these things with a minor. I don't have any experience or knowledge of how SH works, but Red claims that this needle stuff apparently happened way before they joined the server, but they claim that it was not enough to cause the effect, which makes SH addictive. Based on their comments from back then, there was clearly a unique sensation there, but again, I don't know for sure. Red claimed that the first time they did it for real was on October 31st, 2018. They had a fight with their family, which led to them dropping out. On the day before, Red asked Alan for advice on how to get over their fear of the pain of SH. I'm not sure if Alan is jokingly suggesting that Red should try flipping, as in juggling knives, or if he should try using a folding knife, and he used the word flipping by mistake. Red seemed to interpret it as a suggestion for a type of knife, and asks if he could use a kitchen knife. If you cut yourself, you'll realize the pain is pretty whatever. Okay, thanks. Jesus. You're welcome. If we scroll down a bit, we can see the exchange where Red asked...
Why does it keep getting worse and worse and worse? NSFW channels and servers tend to be pretty fine for the most part, though that's mostly because I've been in servers that were well moderated. Yeah. If it can be done, right? Its discords can be moderated properly to where, you know, this kind of content can happen. To me, that's, you know, behind closed doors, not out in the open, right? Especially if you're not promoting that channel. But it's got to be moderated properly. You have to be draconian. You got to start goose stepping all over that Discord.
Alan to talk about the problem of no longer going to school. They hadn't actually dropped out yet. That would happen soon after the 31st, when the SH first occurred. Red would eventually develop an addiction to it. In February 2019, we can see Red mention that he talks to the least people in real life on the server. I have talked to 3 different people in real life in the last month. 5 months after joining the server, they've dropped out of school, they are self-harming, and they've become socially isolated. Despite Alan constantly behaving in an inappropriate, abusive, and downright criminal manner towards Red, Red perceived him as trustworthy. Red saw Alan as a good friend, bestest friend, and the reason why they haven't committed. We have already established that the odds that Taku didn't know that Red was a minor are super low. The further we looked, the more examples we saw of messages that must have been in Taku's line of sight that would indicate to any reasonable person that Red is a minor, or that Alan is sending some weird stuff to him. Taku was also familiar with Alan. They've talked a lot, he's mentioned him lots of times, they hung out in VCs, and he gave Alan a shout out on his channel. But did Taku know about the other part of Alan's reputation? Check this out. On January 16th of 2019, Alan posted a bait and switch video into the general chat channel. The thumbnail shows a naked woman, but when the video is played, it switches to a video containing stuff like this. Despite the warnings given by other members to not look at it, Red can be seen giving their reaction to the video. You can take that as a corroboration for my testimony of what the video is. Violet said that Alan should be banned. Taku was then pinged because Alan did something bad. Nux shows up and says, "Wow, didn't see that one coming," and he then leaves. He took no action. He didn't delete the video or punish Alan or anything. Again, that was January of 2019. Taku would still have Alan on the Rant Cafe podcast in July and August.
And next, we also, believe it or not, have Alan.
I mean, at this point, he's complacent in it, right? He's seeing it happen. With that video, it's just kind of the damning evidence. He's seeing it happen, and he's doing literally nothing about it.
Weebus himself.
He even has people telling him it did something bad. Now, they were probably doing it not because they care about the child, obviously, because no one seemed to fight for this kid. Everyone seemed to be grooming this kid.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm the replacement for Animac Forever. He's dead now. I killed him. So you're gonna have to get accustomed to my presence from now on.
Despite everything that was happening for months, Taku publicly endorsed this guy and presented him to his audience as this harmless, funny troll guy. When I asked Red about these old messages concerning their personal situation at the time, they said it was the beginning of probably the darkest period in their life. The good news is that they stopped self-harming in 2021. They went into a dropout rehabilitation program, and they are now working on their university degree.
God. Thank fucking God that, well, hopefully if that's real, right? But thank fucking God if that's real, that they were able to get out of it and not get sucked into it permanently.
To clarify some things, I reached out to Red because I saw their post on the Discord from years ago. They didn't reach out to me, no one tipped me off about them, I discovered them myself. I haven't conducted any in-depth interview with this person. I would just send them questions every now and then and laid out this timeline and asked for their thoughts. They described it with the words, "All of that is accurate to my knowledge." They don't remember anyone at the server really recommending them to seek help. When I asked about how they felt about Alan's behavior, they recognized that it was inappropriate towards a 14-year-old, but they don't believe he had any sexual grooming intention or meant what he was doing in that manner. They also mentioned Alan being very troubled at the time, which, based on Alan's messages, assuming he isn't lying, seems to be true. Based on the logs I've shown, it's tempting to conclude that the influences that Red was exposed to through Taku's unmoderated Patreon Discord server led to them dropping out of school at age 14 and getting into SH. The timeline laid out by the messages and by Red's testimony does support the idea, but to actually determine if that's the underlying reality would require further investigation. However, regardless of the actual consequences, allowing people to encourage or praise this kind of behavior in the first place is already insane. What is clear is that Red was repeatedly exposed to extremely obscene NSFW content and gore on the server, and that Taku made the NSFW channel because Red requested it, and then accepted more money from them. If Taku was too busy to moderate the server properly, it's not like he was totally unfamiliar with the concept of moderators. If he was, the 16th message on his Discord server was a user recommending him to designate moderators, to which Nux responded, "Indeed." One of the basic responsibilities of a Discord server operator is to make sure that children are not exposed to adult content on their server. By allowing Red on the server and allowing them to be exposed to all of these harmful influences, based on my estimation, Taku made $46. Not only did he fail to carry out that basic responsibility, he made money from neglecting it, something which would eventually become a core element of his success. If you remember, the Chris Tyson server closed its NSFW channel in January 2019, before the server went public. Taku's Patreon NSFW channel is still open in 2026. There is no age verification process, and anyone with $1 can join in. The channel hasn't had a new post since 2024, but it was still active when Taku was casting judgment on Ava Tyson. It's probably good to point out that Taku and Ava Tyson were both born in 1996. Tyson in July and Taku in February. Taku is a few months older than Tyson, but he was making demonstrably worse mistakes at the same age, and continued to make those mistakes for years afterwards. There is no evidence for Tyson ever grooming anyone on the server, but her career was still destroyed by the
Yeah, absolutely, Kimoji. Fucking stones and glass houses. He was throwing boulders around.
controversy, something which Taku cheered on. And with that, I conclude the first part of our dive into Taku's history. In the next part, I'll show the dishonest ways in which he has defended his past content to his new religious right-wing audience. An audience that he has attracted by saying stuff like this.
Banning our books! They're firing!
They're not banning your books. They just don't want them in schools teaching children and grooming them. There's a big difference between banning books and not wanting to show sexualized, pornographic, grooming material to kids. There's a big difference, actually.
Woo! That statement aged like milk. Oh.
This dude is like, I cannot believe they are banning our porn from the schools. All I want to do is show sissy, hypno, transgender porn to 7-year-olds. And society does not let me. All right, so you have the interracial gay couple.
Those move.
Raising a kid.
For your two biggest fans.
And this is a boy in a tiara and a skirt. I'm telling you, it's grooming. It's so obviously grooming. It's so obviously grooming, man.
Dear students growing up with free thoughts and with critical thinking and not being indoctrinated into their beliefs. That's the biggest fear of fascists. And
you literally have a pedophile flag on your shirt.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this?
Bitch, you literally have a pedophile flag in your background and you're wearing a nose ring. What are we talking about? Why would anyone ever take you seriously?
It's gonna be fun. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Oh, and of course, congratulations on your 30th birthday, Taku. See you later.
Is it his birthday today? Hold on. It's his birth. I didn't even put that together. He dropped this fucking he dropped this video on his fucking birthday. Holy fucking shit. Oh, excuse me. Remember that Nux was in a college with several anti-wokers. Was he? I mean, I know he's connected through people, but I don't know that has he done actual anti-woke content? I mean, obviously he's doing some kind when he's doing the pedophile stuff, but I mean in the gaming scene. Hey, Egad, what's going on? Have you seen the Harmful Opinions video on Nux? I want to say I have. Is there a new one? Because I know he did one a while back. I may have to watch it again on Friday. No, it's an older video. I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. Oh, God. Not a new one, but maybe he will. Oh, I'm sure he will make a new one on it. His career was already in the toilet, but Nick Andros just flushed what little semblance of relevance he had left. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because this is going to blow up on the internet. So if even though you're watching me, go fucking like and subscribe to Nick Andros to get this out there and get him, because he's a little guy, right? So it's the best way to let everyone know just the type of person, just the type of person that Taku is. Jesus Christ, it's so much worse than what I say. While not directly grooming, the guy is complicit with a guy who is grooming a kid, with several people who are grooming this kid in the Discord, right? One who is definitely grooming him sexually. Oh, man. I wonder how his fans, it already is hell, people in Noah's server are talking about it. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's going to get boosted all over the place. I see this going pretty far. X is going to be wonderful tomorrow. It is going to be interesting to watch. But the thing I wonder is what are his friends and colleagues going to say? Like, of course, of course, Tectone is gonna defend his buddy, right? I mean, we know the things Tectone has been accused of. Of course, he's gonna come in and defend this behavior. Oh man. I'm just going to play for a little bit and talk about this. If anyone wants to come in to chat, Noah isn't mad at Nicandros, by the way, despite the little drama that happened between them. Yeah, from my understanding, they all talk to him in the background, and I've talked to him too in the background, and he's fine with everyone. Like, Noah, I think, did the best thing that you could have done in his situation. He took accountability for the things that I think were, accountable to take it for. He says he's making a change, and he legitimately seems like he's he owned it. And a lot of people say what you should do is just be quiet and things like that, but I think seeing what we've seen with Noah just shows that taking ownership, I don't think is going to hurt him. His Discord is still very positive for him. He just put out the new video. I'm probably going to watch that on Friday. And I heard you're going on his show too this weekend, Simon, right? And I was talking about one of these days going on with him and talking about a subject or two. So I like Noah. And I'm hoping that he changes from this point on. So, sometimes you got to own it and just improve. Yeah, I agree. Owning it tends to get you, have you be better off than not owning it, right? Than trying to hide it. Because the more you try and hide it, the more people dig. And if you got people like Shamu and Nicandros, these guys coming in and starting digging through all of your content, they're gonna find stuff,
ways in which
the internet is forever. And if there is stuff still there, people will find it, and people will call you out for it. That's just the way it works. So yeah. So I'm gonna slip into, because if I had time, I would probably look up that old Harmful Opinions. I like Harmful Opinions. I've watched his live streams a few times and his content. He's one of the good ones when it comes to anti-wokers. I see where Komoji said, yeah, they're either going to defend him or they're going to silently leave. Yeah, you're seeing that with Tectone, right? Not a lot of people are defending Tectone. You have the core little group, right? Chibi Reviews, which I think did he delete? No, I don't think it was that one he deleted. He deleted another one having to do with the Overwatch drama. But yeah, the rest seem to be just kind of like not saying anything, just, slipping away. And then all of them get caught, or seem to be getting caught in their own degenerate shit. Like, we all know Chibi Reviews has always had his shit. And then you've got Rev and Strawberry, and their crazy fake Christian grift. Then we've got Taku now being shown up. Like, I always knew, you always know that grift is Christian. You can tell the Christian grift, the actual grift, from miles away. It's just this thing where you can try and use the Bible as an excuse. Well, yeah, I was a horrible person back then, but I got saved. But here's the thing, bud. If you are an actual Christian, you can't just say it out loud. Saying it out loud may get a few of the retards to believe you, but being a true believer in God, it doesn't change if it doesn't mean anything, actually mean anything, right? You can go get baptized, but if you don't, actually have faith, If you're just using it to look like a good guy, then you're not actually following the tenets of the religion, and you're not getting saved. You're not a Christian. This is coming from a bad Christian. I don't read my Bible enough, and I've left my church within the last couple of years. Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot of so-called born-again Christians are turning out to be the worst kind of degenerates. Yeah, it's like they're preempting all of this stuff coming out, right? They're like, well, I better like look like I've got a reason to be saved, or shit's gonna be very bad for me when all of this stuff comes out. And like with Nux, it's even worse, like the hypocrisy of what he's doing, where he will flat out talk about something that he has actively done in his Discord. Oh man, it's a mess. It's a mess. Again, I'll say, because I haven't completed that sentence because I keep getting distracted by chat. If you want to come in, I'll be in live stream. Jump into the waiting room on my Discord, and we can chat about this recent video for the next about 25-30 minutes as I play this game about a horror house to try and forget all of that I just learned about Nux Taku. I just can't believe. Okay, so using that one. Oh, it's what happens when you become a degenerate. You start digging too deep, and I would say anything. Like, I would say he is a lolly enjoyer, but he knows the optics of what it would be to be open about his lolly enjoyment. So he just always says, I'm not a lolly enjoyer. Like, why are you bringing all of this content up constantly? Like, you can't just say it's because you want to make money on it. You're doing something to you're doing something in there is giving you enjoyment, right? Now you could say like it's the attention that he's getting, right? That's an easy one to go for, but you do it enough, and like, is it just for the attention? You've earned your crowd. You could go on to other things, maybe. I don't know. Nux is Jewish last time I checked, and he somehow turning out to be one of the worst. One is peak stereotype. Nux Taku is part of the Jewish cabal. Oh man, that is. Oh, he should put the nose on his VTuber model. Oh. Why? Just why? Like, it makes you want to, like, God, just to think, like, a 14, 15-year-old kid would have probably never experienced any of that until they were an adult. Like, yeah, drug use, you can say that would probably happen. That's common and things like that, but probably not as hard as stuff like that, smoking a little weed, or anything close to that. Most people, I think a lot of people have at least tried some substance in their life. It's but to be like absolutely, yeah, I guess he learned from the best. Oh, his max is probably 3. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah, you can't get his above 3, but I can go full psychosis on this dude. Boom, boom. We'll go again. Boom, boom, boom. Do that. Do that. Let's earn some more. Nope, not that. So, at the end of this segment, I'll mention it again. I am currently playing Deck of Haunts, a fun little game that you get to be a haunted house, deck building, roguelite. Speaking of roguelites, I saw, God, Tourist Drops, or as he's known, Legendary Drops, is like the worst anti-woke light that you could ever be. Like he was saying, like, I get it. The cat impreg game looks like a lot of fun and it's, doing really well, right? But he wants to, shout it out as like the gaming industry thinking that roguelites are dead. And I'm like, bud, stop pretending you even care about the indie scene whatsoever. Roguelites and roguelikes have been flourishing. Kamoji even said it. They're just all over the place. It's oversaturated to the point that sometimes it can be hard to find a good one. It's but there he is, talking about how, look what this cat game did. It did so well. This is what the AAA industry needs to do. And I'm like, no, I don't want them to make slop roguelites. I want them to make good games, within their wheelhouse, whatever that might be. I may watch that video too on Friday. I'll have to link it. Oh, Egad, if you're still in the chat, can you link that harmful opinions video in Discord? That way I don't forget. If you're not, it's fine. I'll try and look up before or after I get off stream. But I am known to forget instantly when things happen. Let's do that. More. And we do that. Whoops. Oh, what? Oh, wow. Can he only have max 3? What's going on here? Oh, he's over here. That's why. Those guys have 14. Boom. Boom. Draw 3. Tension 2. Boop, boop. Discard. Draw 2 more, and then let's get some points back. Dude. I think Friday I'm gonna try a different deck just so people can see something other than this broken deck that I've been playing. But this is a huge enjoyer. I'm trying to decide what to do next. I kind of said on X I'd play that new, I think it's a roguelite actually, that McDizzle was promoting. All right. Oops. No, I don't want that. You don't go away. You two go away. It still won't. Yeah, he won't go above 3. That's fine. That's fine. Boom. And we'll do that. Oh. I also saw Endymion stepped into the Overwatch drama. And of course, he used a news channel that he doesn't show where it's coming from. So I'm going to be looking at that tomorrow to figure out which news site he's using, to see if he's actually started using legitimate news sites or if he's just, faking it like he always does. from, you know, news sites that are going to say it the way he wants it to be, that I'm pretty sure cater just to him. Like they psyop stuff that he will post. Where is she at? She's here. Yeah, let's start getting you up. We'll get you all to 14, and then we'll call it a day, because you're all ×6. So he's ×2, but he probably can only get up to ×2. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. All right, let's gain some points back so I can just start dropping these things. Boop. I'm still on turn 1, by the way. I've been playing turn 1 for like 15 minutes. Let's do that again. Let's do that again. Let's play this one and this one and do that again. Drop a card. Boom, boom, boom. Do that again. How many does she have now? Oh, she has 14. He needs a bunch. Where are you guys at? Oh, right here. Okay. Okay. We'll get you some. Little mass psychosis in the room. Little mass psychosis after watching grooming in a Discord. 1. Nope. 2, 3. It's funny, as I could make this even crazier if I upgrade all of those mass psychosis. What are they at now? 15. Let's give him a few more, because he's going to have a lot of health. No, he doesn't have a lot of health. Let's see if I kill him. Yep, I killed him. We're going to discard this one. I'm going to play that. Play that one, and let's gain some points. Ooh, 1, 2, 3. Then we draw 3 cards. Uh-oh. Oh, no, there it is. All right. I just like drawing my entire deck. Also, we'll shield the channel. We got 24 people in chat today. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video. It helps me out greatly in my little content creation journey. And if you have anything you want me to watch, I always say you can head down into the Discord linked below. We talk about all sorts of subjects on the channel. So a lot of times around gaming. So if you have anything you think I would like, or you think would be interesting to watch on the channel or talk about on the channel, just put it there in the channel called Feed the Pig, because you feed this pig slop and I will eat it. Da, 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 da. There we go. They're all going to be dead too. Draw 3 cards. That'll give me that. There's still a 16, so we can keep dropping these. And I'll get most of that back. 1, 2. Most of that back. What are they at? 18. That should end it. 2 turns. 2 turns. They can't even break past my front door. Oh, man. Upgrade the sewing room. Yeah, let's just skip this, because I need to start widening my house anyway. Let's do that. And then I need to build a little long house here. And then How much do I have? A little longhouse here. And that's where I'll put my artifact. And also drag people into the rooms. I need like a little side room over here. I don't have enough for it though. All right. Next round. Next round. No, I don't need any of that. That. Ooh, I might actually close down here. Okay, let's do this. I can at least get one more of those off and then end turn. Cards. Start getting those points up. Good, good. More cards. And more AP. Banish and draw. That. Now we start rocking. This guy's got a lot of health, but I'm pretty sure I can kill him in one turn if we put enough of these on him. Put enough of these on him and he'll... Alright, let's do that. That'll get us more turns. Draw cards. Draw card. There. There. Boom. Oh, he's already at ×6, so all we have to worry about is putting these on him. Ye old mass psychosis deck. Earn some points back up. There we go. Now we can start dropping these again. We're at 11. Basically, I can put an infinite amount of mass psychosis on them and then set their tension to ×6, the highest, and they just die. I will be playing this game through the weekend, and I think Monday I will have another game up. So same as with other content, if you have an indie game you think I'll be interested in, or you want to see, showcase on the channel while we watch Slop, just send it into the Discord. There is an indie channel there where you can drop it off, and maybe I'll pick it up. I found some bangers there. Okay, so that, and we do this just to get a few more back. Then I can drop that. I think that, yeah, one card. Boop. There we go. Right there. Now. Boom. All right, 24. Boom. Boom. Get my points back up here. Mm-mm-mm-mm. 30 ×6. That's going to kill him. We'll put a few extra on. I'll do that. We'll get it up to 40 just to be safe. Does he have anything that's going to take like less psychosis damage? Cannot be moved with card effects. Okay, so that's nothing terrible there. So when I first started this game, it seemed like the easier way to do was to actually do physical damage over mental. You also get less like build points. for driving them insane. But if you drive them insane first and then kill them, you get both of the points. So it's 25 to drive them insane. It's 30 points to kill them. So you drive them insane, you get what 55 point. I'm not gonna do math on here. I'm bad at math. Let's see here. 38. I'll do that. Boom. More points. More AP. I'll do one more for goodness. More AP. Where did I have one? There we go. All right, let's see what happens. Got him. Only got 25 points for that. Oh, a darkroom tile. I'll do that. 2 darkroom tiles. Hell yeah. Darkroom tiles will make it so that they lose a turn. So even if anyone gets past here, they'll at least be slowed down here. And I found this is like, to me, my optimal build. Make them go through the bell tower. It adds tension to them for free. Build as far back as you can. It's easier to build out from the heart than it is to build from this side. This costs, like, if you look, 125 points to build out farther, but the closer you get, like, I can build something for 5. Well, that's 5 points there. 50 points is usually like a good starter that's around that. 5 points if you're right next to it. So I could also delete this room later and put another room that's a box. Let's not do that. Around it, which might make it adds one more room. One more room they got to go through. Boom. So anyways, we're going to call it here, guys. I want to thank everybody for coming by. On your way out, like the stream. And we will see you on Friday, guys. We'll see you on Friday. Y'all have a wonderful night, everybody.
you